Here we're back for another exciting week for the Lords of the Sea.
Hola!
Perfect
Hey,
time.
sorry we're a little late.
That's all right. We literally just went live, so you didn't
Awesome.
miss anything.
I'll be
All right. Well, on that note, let's start off with a little recap here, and then we're going to jump right into things. So, where last session began, it was past midnight in the freezing air of the Serpent Bog. Your new comrades in arms, Tyr, a human sorcerer, and Gob, a brutish half-orc, split off to scout for other pirates that may still be patrolling the region. They agreed to meet the rest of you at the tower for the final assault. The rest of you make haste to the tower, rushing there before daybreak, where your vessel would be spotted and be easy prey for the cutthroat pirates. As you approach, there is a band of pirates that spot you at the base of the tower, and they quickly move to intercept you. Soon, the sounds of battle ring into the otherwise silent night air, drawing the ire of the pirate captain herself. Katag charges in the initial band of pirates, while the rest of you try to catch the captain in a pincer attack. With the help of a well-placed fog spell, you distract the captain long enough for Ankh-Ba to, well, melt her face to nothing left than a blackened bone with his eldritch energies, while Katag literally takes the other pirates one piece at a time, severing hands from arm.
I remember that. That was sick once.
Through sheer intimidation by Torin and a bluff gambit by Vetch, you learn about the pirates' hidden stash of stolen booty that they buried in the beach.
booty.
From out of the jungle, Tyr arrives, dusting off his shoulders, and joins you in a thorough investigation of the tower. An investigation which revealed that the pirates did, in fact, murder the family who operated the lighthouse, as well as smashed the reflecting mirrors, rendering the lighthouse inoperable. After giving the family a proper burial, you keep the last pirate as your prisoner, both for bounty and proof of the pirates' activities at the lighthouse. You verified the truth of the hidden booty and steal one of their rowboats as you make your way back to the Night Wasp. There, you strike a deal with Falfeard for safe transport and fencing of the stolen pirate goods in Seawall. After a day's travel, you finally arrive late in the evening of the harbor of Seawall. Ships fill the port, which is bustling with activity even at this hour. The harbor guard verified Falfeard's paperwork. He stands aside as you step onto the pier and greets you. Welcome to Seawall. That is where we're going to pick off today.
Nice.
Word. I love it.
Excitement.
If I remember correctly, I think when you asked us if anyone has been there, I said I had was from there. I said I had visited, right?
You visited.
I think I visited. Okay. Great. No one else has been, right? Any of the party?
Tyr. Tyr has
Tears. Okay.
because that's where he hired Gob at, or Gob was assigned to him to go and help investigate what was going on at the lighthouse, why the family has stopped all communications with Seawall.
Gotcha. So Tyr has to report in, correct? At some point?
Well,
maybe?
Not only that, but really, it's time to start collecting, bounties and other rewards. So Falfeard is beginning, you literally just stepped off the ship, so he is contacting his people to help fence the stolen property from the pirates. So he has paid you your initial contract fees. So you already have the 10 gold each.
Okay.
For, safely seeing him to Seawall. You also receive an additional 25 gold coins each for killing the pirates.
Great.
Now, the
Sweet.
other one, you don't have the bounty on yet. He is still being taken in by the Seawall guards. In fact, he's still on the ship in the holding cell. So they haven't come to actually extract him yet. But that is something
Okay.
We
else that'll
don't.
be added.
Did we get the bounty for the pirate captain? Her corpse.
No, I don't think so yet, because that was up to us, right? To like confirm it was her.
Yes, and again, you haven't
proof.
gotten any other bounties with that. The only bounty for the pirates that you've received was from Falford himself, and that was for you basically going out there and slaughtering the pirates wholesale.
Okay. Is he in a hurry to see us off his ship? Like, what time do we get into dock? I'm just thinking, like, should we find rooms for the night?
Yeah, it is late in the evening. It is probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30, somewhere between there. And the port is still bustling with activity. Like this in other major cities, this kind of activity would be seen maybe midday. This is still going on late at night. So this is a major hub.
Okay.
Can I ask a question about Seawall?
You can ask as many questions as you like.
Is slavery legal there?
No. Slavery is not legal here. In fact, it's mostly illegal in most nations. But in the area that you're at, the area of Jellyfish Haven, it is against the law in any of the established city-states.
Okay. Is the captain eager to see us off the boat, or can we lodge here for the night, or should we seek accommodations elsewhere?
You would be seeking accommodations elsewhere. This is mainly for his crew. So you're just here for the transport, so you're not really renting a room on his ship.
Okay.
But
So our business is concluded, basically.
for the most part, there's still the fencing, divvying up that profits, the bounty for the pirate that you did bring in. So that's still being worked upon. So your business isn't totally concluded with him. But for the transport, for most things of the ship right now, it is concluded.
Okay.
Interesting. So what's his plan? What's his deal? Like, is he gonna? When are we like? Are we gonna kind of go our separate ways for a little bit, or are we gonna?
Pretty
Stay
much,
by it.
you have free reins to do whatever you'd like.
Well, I mean, I'd love to take a stroll through Seawall and kind of get the vibe. But it's late, and I think I'd probably be keeping an eye out for like an inn/pub.
Would I know a good inn that's right by the waterfront? I assume so.
Let's see if your memory kicks in here. Roll an
boy.
intelligence. check.
Alrighty.
What's the roll? Hold on.
Intelligence.
Okay.
That's on my main, right?
Yes, it would be on your-
INT.
correct.
Alrighty, let's give us a first roll. Then. Oh my lord, they're kicking off
A
the night with
5.
good rolls.
So, and now something else too. Before we go any further, this I have leveled most of your characters. Vetch and Akba, you still have an additional spell that you need to pick yourselves. And Akba, you have Warlock Invocations, 2 of them that you need to kind of see which ones you'd like to use.
Okay.
So those are really interesting class features. We'll go over those a little bit here, but everybody else is pretty much leveled up. Our fighters of the group will notice new ability. That new ability is Action Surge. It is under your Actions tab. You can use it once per short rest, and it basically gives you another action in combat. This action can be used just like your regular action. Could be used for attacking, used for, dashing, disengaging, hiding, aiding. Everything you can use your action for, you could basically use it again. So it's like having 2 actions per short rest. Very useful.
That's awesome.
Better to save Vetch with next time she's one shot again.
Yo,
Or
Hello.
do many, many other
Where-
things.
where is my front line? Is the real question.
Uh-huh.
In a bush.
In a bush, getting coins thrown at them.
Yeah, you also notice everybody, you'll have a lot more hit points now. And you also have an additional
Awesome.
hit die for when you
Hey, I
try to heal
can-
yourselves.
Oh wait.
Great. Okay. Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't remember my HP, but that seems better than what I was
You had 8.
before. I had 8. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Whew.
Yeah.
See, I won't be dying next time with that hit. Hopefully.
Now, Vetch, you have something else that's really interesting. If you look on your skills tab, you'll notice, and my Fantasy Grounds is lagging out, so you'll have like a half star for most of your skills.
Yeah.
That
I see that
means,
now.
yeah, anything that you weren't trained in before, or you didn't have, bless you, that you didn't have a proficiency bonus in, you now have half of your proficiency bonus in those skills. So you have no skill that is technically untrained. You're just not as trained as some people. Yes.
Is this a effect of being a bard?
Yes, this is one of their abilities. It's
nice.
Jack of all trades. So you add half your proficiency bonus rounded down to any ability check you make that doesn't already include that bonus. God bless you. All right.
Okay, that's cool.
Let's see. Also, you get Song of Rest, which is something that you
Song of
definitely
Rest.
want to use. So what this does is you can use soothing music or oration to help revitalize your wounded allies during a short rest. If you are a friendly creature who can hear your performance, they regain hit points during the short rest. That creature regains 1d6 extra hit points at the end of that rest.
Oh shit.
But that creature only gets the extra points if they spend 1 or more hit die. So when you spend one of those hit die that you now have 2 of, as long as Vetch sings or, does the Song of Rest, you get an extra d6 on top of that.
Okay, so was that just a innate skill learned from leveling up?
That is correct. That is something just for being level 2 of a bard.
Out of curiosity,
Coco.
out of curiosity, what level are you guys in your Saturday campaign? Because that's been going on for a while, right? I feel like level 2 is a big milestone. Dave laughs at me, but I'm serious.
All right. Well, it's not a huge milestone. The actual, I want to say where the characters really start going into their niche is level 3. They are level 4 right now. Actually, kind of past the midway point, going to level 5. I've run campaigns that have ran about 2 years.
Holy crap. And is this the thing where XP becomes, basically each level becomes harder to scale into?
Yes, but the threats also increase. So, now this isn't an exact, but usually about 8 to 10 challenges would get you to a level. There are some things that can kind of sway that a little quicker, because we're doing milestone XP, so there's kind of story awards, things like that that are just like big bonuses. And there are things that you can get rewarded for outside of combat as well. So it's not just what they call murder hobo syndrome, where you just go around killing every random thing.
Murder hobo. Okay, and one last question, Dave, because you kind of fed into that. Are there things like bosses in campaigns? Oh no, the evil laugh. Uh-oh.
Well, for this campaign, if you create one through your dynamic changes in the world, just from your choices, most definitely. Do I have anyone kind of pre-planned? Not really for this. I don't like planning things too much, especially for this campaign, because I want you guys to really focus on learning and having a good time with this, since you are completely new to all this. So if this was a video game, this would be kind of jumping from easy to normal difficulty at times. Whereas in the Saturday game, it goes from easy to very hard mode.
I don't think it's been easy ever. We had some bite it in session 3.
Would the captain of the last crew and the forget what they were called,
Pirates?
not the he wasn't a gnome. It was the guy, remember where the first time Vetch, when she threw a coin at me, it was like
I remember that.
who was the
you
guy
talking about the dwarf?
The
Yes.
dwarf guy.
were those not considered like bosses?
He was
No,
unique.
he wasn't a boss.
boss.
He was stronger than the other guys, but he wasn't really a boss.
Yeah, okay.
If I can maybe translate a little bit, when you ask about what a boss is, you've got to remember that in role playing games, tabletop games especially, typical description of a boss doesn't really fit because it sort of suffers from the syndrome of, depending on your level, an enemy might be considered a boss because it's big and beefy and challenging and scary, right?
Okay.
But then you level up, and then if you run into, say, that exact same creature later on, you may be higher level to the point where that creature is not a threat to you.
See,
And
but
so-
I would argue that that's like wandering into an area you're not supposed to go in an RPG and being completely outleveled versus something that's innate to the
Scarecrow.
story. Yeah, the scarecrow.
I
Versus
was
something
thinking
that's innate
about-
to the story that's like a milestone. So you beat it and then it unlocks the next segment versus like, oh shit, I stumbled into like something I'm not supposed to. You know what I mean?
You're
It
both
depends.
right, and you're both not wrong at the same time. So no, it all depends on how the game master runs things. So there are some where they can run it where it fits both of those. I run it where it kind of goes beyond that. An example tier from one of my past ones. In fact, it was one of the first sessions that you came in would be what I would call a
the
boss
dragon.
battle. It wasn't just a dragon. It was a spell. It was a Draco Lich. That was just amped up because there's too much kind of backstory on it. But basically, that one, it was a non-standard creature to begin with, using the book rules to tweak it. But it's not one of those that you would just meet wandering around aimlessly. But yes, if you do go to certain things, if you go to hell, you're going to fight things that are way beyond the scope of your level. Good luck. If you know, so. But then at the same time, right now, things like goblins, you know, are going to be an issue. But then, 5 levels from now, they're just, laughable.
Yeah. And it also depends, as Dave said, it depends on the game master. Like Dave runs a very at least from my experience in his other games, Dave is kind of, he does a hybrid between what would be called sandbox play and what would be called adventure path play, or module play or narrative play or whatever you want to call it. So every game master is going to be like different. Like if someone's running pure narrative play, you're going to literally run into straight bosses.
Right.
Like if you're running through, to use an example from Pathfinder, if you're running through like Rise of the Rune Lords as an AP, there's an enemy named Zenetia. She pops up in the second module. She's horrifyingly scary and will rip a party apart. And she's customized. She has her own special gear and this, that, and other thing. And you can't progress to the next book until you have faced Zenetia. So there are things like that. It just depends on the style.
Okay. So it's like a checklist boss in that sense. You got to check mark him off the list to get them ticked off. I guess. Okay, my last out of character question here: how long have you D&D'd with Dave Tier? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know. Let's see. I met y'all. I don't know, about 6 months, I'd say.
Awesome. So
Yeah.
a little bit longer than us.
Yeah, it was
A little
early in
longer
the
than
year
us.
this year.
Duh.
Okay. Shh, JC. All right. Very awesome. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that because out of curiosity.
Jellyfish is completely blank on my screen.
Same.
I have about a tiny little bit of a map.
Yeah, there's going to be a
you
little tiny bit of a map here. See if I can get it to force focus.
Mine's
It's
blank
only
as
kind of
well.
like the middle far left.
I zoomed in because I wasn't sure if I was missing a part or not.
No, a lot of this is hidden on purpose.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just
This is all explorable.
Ooh. I also
So-
think I reset your hazard accidentally too.
Well, I put the token back and I locked them down, so you shouldn't be able to do that. This is really just so you can kind of see the world here.
Okay.
So,
You're here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to
Seawall.
read through these spell things that you mentioned, right?
Mhm.
A lot of them say prerequisite, and then it says like 9th level and stuff. So
That means you
like,
can't
basically, right now, I have to pick Eldritch Invocations from that list, and then it says Xanathar.
Well, it's not just Xanathar. I mean, there's things in the player's handbook that you can pick.
Okay, that's what
So,
it says.
so for your invocations, there's actually quite a bit of them that you can pick. Some of them do have prerequisites. So if it says like you have to have another invocation before you can pick it, obviously you have to have that before you can have the other one. A lot of these do have level requirements. So you see things like must be 3rd level, must be 9th level, 12th level, etc. So
Okay.
you obviously can't pick those.
Is you know how when we were talking about when we were doing character creation, you kind of got a sense of like I forget what it was called, but there was some like end like later down the road ability or kind of like build that you were suggesting for me. Is there anything I need to do to
Yeah, that one
how
was
to get there?
they call that the blade lock. Basically, it's a melee warlock. So
Yeah.
there are there you have to be level 3 so you can kind of walk this certain path for that. So right now you're fine. You're not going to really hurt your character picking things from this because the stuff that you really need for that you're not going to get till several more levels.
Okay, that's all I need to know, and I'll probably read through this and while we all kind of do whatever we're about to do. I don't need to focus on it now.
Yeah, and then you and Vetch will need to pick one more 1st level spell, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because when you level up, you gain
Eldritch.
another
Wait.
spell.
How do
So,
I pick that?
so if you click on the little magnifying glass next to your class and level, it'll bring up a little class list. If you scroll down, it'll have a thing for like warlock spells or bard spells. And when you click on that, you can just drag and drop the spell into your actions tab, and it'll add the spell. So at 2nd level, your spells known Ankh-Ba go from 2 to 3. Your spell slots go from 1 to 2.
Ooh, what did I just do?
Hang on. I opened the class and level screen. What am I clicking on here?
The magnifying glass next to your class and level, and then you scroll
Yep.
down, and then you'll see something will say like the bard or the warlock. It's usually right under the suggested background and quick build. It's like a chart, and
Oh,
you'll
boy.
see what you gain from that. And there's a little dragon head that will say like bard
Oh,
spells.
God.
If you click on that, you can just drag and drop the spell that you want. So the spell slot should already be calculated. It's just the spell that you know isn't, because you actually have to pick that. So it's just something for you to kind of comb through while we do some things in town.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to think about this for a second.
Yeah. So, but is this separate from the whole thing where I have to pick 2 Eldritch incantations?
The invocations, yes. So you get 2 of those, and some of those are really, really cool. It really depends on kind of what you see your character doing. So,
That's the list I was going through.
because Xanathar's has a few of those. The one that right above it that says Eldritch Invocations is the one from the player's handbook. So they have things like you gain proficiency in deception and persuasion skills, or things like armor of shadows. Basically, it's mage armor, which bumps your armor class, makes you harder to hit.
Okay. Where do I? But that's different than what you were just telling us about, which is
Spells, yeah.
Spells.
Eldritch Invocations is something only Ankh-Ba can do because he is a warlock. That's something that his class gets. He doesn't get as many spells as Vetch would get, but to make up for that, he gets these other things that he can do either constantly or pretty much what they call at will that Vetch could not do. So you get a smaller choice of things, but you get to do some really cool things where Vetch gets to do a lot of things, but very limited use.
Got it. So I just want to know, how do I choose what is this next spell? Because you said I go from one. right
So you
now
click
to
on the
two.
warlock spells. So if you go to your main page and it says Warlock 2 to the right, there's a little lasso. You click that and you'll see Warlock and there's a red dragon's head. When you click on that, just scroll down and you'll see Warlock spells. And just click that and you just drag that in your actions tab.
Sorry, my Fantasy Grounds is lagging. Oh, and it just crashed. Cool.
All right, we'll wait for you to get back in here. So now, Tyr, you're talking about your ear to the ground background.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ear to the ground background.
That's a feature.
Whenever you select your remember how when you selected your backgrounds, which is how you decided some of your skills.
Right.
Some backgrounds come with features. One of the features that mine came with was called ear to the ground, and what it lets me do is you are in frequent contact with people in the segment of society that your chosen quarries move through, which he's a bounty hunter. These people might be associated with the criminal underworld, the rough and tumble folk of the streets, or members of high society. This connection comes in the form of a contact in any city you visit, a person who provides information about the people and places of the local.
So he knows somebody in cities.
Right. My brain just stalled with Tyr and bounty hunter connection, but then I remembered. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Go ahead. Yep.
That's why he said I could help you with this because of the feature.
Exactly. Okay. Are you pursuing a quarry right now?
No.
Okay.
Not, but we have a quarry with us. Remember.
That is true.
And it was something that we will need to take care of eventually. This is me also out of character for a moment, which is very simple. This is y'all's game. I'm here to kind of help, but for the most part, I try to let you guys, because y'all are new and y'all are all learning the system. For the most part, I try to stay a little in the background rather than like leading, because I am more experienced. I don't want to do that to y'all in y'all's game. So if you notice that I kind of fade out, that's what's going on there.
I mean, I think we'd all appreciate the help if we stall too, though.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But I'm here to help smooth things out.
Awesome. Okay, so I assume once we leave the ship, we have to take the dead body with us. Don't mind us just walking through the streets.
Well, the city guard, they're going to be getting the bodies out with that.
Okay.
So, but I'm sure Tyr there isn't complaining on playing in this game either because, well,
No.
He doesn't have to worry about eldritch gods trying to devour his immortal soul. So you just kind of lay back and rest.
No, I don't mind playing. I enjoy playing. I'm just intentionally trying to give you guys your time to shine because this is y'all's game.
Okay.
And
So-
Dragonborns are vain, so that's cool by me.
So, with that, now, Vetch, you were trying to roll to see if you remember anything, and
Yeah, that's
it's-
my wonderful role. I was hoping you forgot that, Dave.
it's been
Oh,
a
they're
while
sidelining.
since you've been there. Now, now Tyr has been here, and it's not a question of where to go; it's where to go at this time of night. So, Tyr, just roll an intelligence check, see if you can make the most sound choice.
Can I guidance myself?
Yes,
How
you
do you
can.
spell Leviathan again?
I will guidance myself.
You're not even in here.
Um,
I'll type it out for you. Hang on.
Because
Thicker guy. No, I
Tyr is
got it.
not bright at all. Even with guidance,
Oh my god, we're failing so hard.
that didn't. Yeah, there we go. Even with guidance, it's a 5. So I did about as good as you did.
All right.
Nice.
So, going with your ear to the ground contact here, you do remember your contact. So, a rough and tumble dwarf named Hodis, kind of scruffy, you know, of a little tavern that he kind of frequents. It's not the best, but not far from the worst. So you decide to try to see if he's there. The tavern is called the Dry Manatee. And
Great.
As you all start making your way through the ports, going up from the harbor, there's kind of a set of switchback stairs, and you can kind of see a little more overview of the port, which is it's breathtaking as it is frightening. All the movement, the shadows, people moving in and out. It's very easy for one to become lost here. It's one of the many dangers of these large settlements, these big cities, and this is one of the larger ones in Jellyfish Haven. So, moving up several flights, getting to the higher streets here, you make your way through the port districts to more of the merchant side. And this is where you have more of some of the paupers, the ladies of the night, all these trying to get your attention. And after walking past a few establishments, you see the sign, the Dry Manatee. From the sounds of it, it is just as lively as the docks, but more jovial in manner here, as there's drunken songs being sung, occasional clatter of mugs and plates, people laughing, the smell of roasted meats kind of fill the air, the different spices, rum. You go in, push your way into the door, the warm glow, there's this huge hearth inside. It also doubles as a roasting pit. And whose mic is scratching like that?
Not mine.
Not mine.
Don't think it's mine.
What kind of sound does it make? Because it might be me.
It sounds like somebody's like rubbing their finger over their mic.
It's probably, I'm looking down and my cord is probably rubbing up against my mic. So I'm going to stop looking down now.
All right. So, yeah, there's this large hearth. And when I mean large, it's probably like 10 feet wide by 20 feet long. And there's various plates kind of hanging over it. And you see rotisseries on it, various haunches of meat, slow roasting, pots of soup. And there's tavern wenches going back and forth, getting orders, bringing hands full of like 4 mugs each to different tables. There's all manner of folk in here. Those that look like they, maybe just got off of work. Maybe they worked at the docks or some other local establishments, while others, slightly more fanciful, but not, noble quality. They are more well kept, a little cleaner than the others. But nonetheless, you are greeted as you come in the door. The bartender yells out at you, "Ah, what do y'all be having?"
I immediately see all the meat that's being cooked, as you mentioned, and I start looking and hoping. I maybe even running straight to where the meat is, hoping for bacon, because Dragonborns love bacon. In case you guys...
I didn't know. Thanks,
I
though.
didn't know pigs were available.
It says... It was said that Dragonborns like all food, but prefer meat and heavily prefer bacon. So,
All right.
yeah.
There is what appears to be roasted pig or roasting pig. So
We'll have a pint of your on-tap ale, good sir. Would by chance there be a certain young dwarf around? What was his name again, Dave?
Hodis.
By the name of Hotus.
Otis.
Oh, I thought you said POTUS. I was like, huh.
No, I'm not going to Donald Trump for my contact. I just refuse.
Oh, wow. It was not
Cheers. That was clever.
Even... Yeah, that was.
Hodis. He was in here last night, but I haven't seen him today. Might want to check back tomorrow, or where y'all from? Tyr, I've seen you around here before. It's a good thing you did with those bandits.
Well, you know, just doing my part. Let me introduce my companions, please, if I may. And also, let us see, that large fellow over there, who appears to be eyeing your roasting pig, is Torin. This is Kvetch, Onbok, and Katag.
Oh. Tell me, Terry, you on another mission?
Well, actually, not directly on a mission, however, I do have a bounty that needs claiming. I was hoping to speak to Hotus to find out precisely where I could turn that one in. Would you happen to maybe have such information, as we all know people in your profession tend to hear many things?
Well, what kind of bounty are we talking about here?
Well, it would be a bounty upon the body of a pirate. So unfortunately, we're looking for dead rather than alive.
Well, really, I mean, you always can go to the local constable. They always pay good for pirates, but if these pirates made the wrong enemies, some people pay more for them alive than dead. Gets my drift.
Unfortunately, I think that's a little bit well past the expiration date. But also, we both know it's not a good idea to get to the constabulary simply stating, yes, we killed this person, we'd like to know if there's a bounty, because at that point, one, they have no option to pay. Two, they could simply, downgrade the cost. What was the name of the pirate? Did we ever get a name?
Captain Ashlam.
By chance, would you happen to know if there's a bounty on a Captain Ashlam? Pirate captain, a random rough fellow.
That no, that's something. If you wanted to circumvent the constable, well, there's some other.
Well, I'm not looking to circumvent, sir. I'm just looking to find the information before I go.
You can talk to them and inquire about it, not letting them know why that you've caught this person or that you found their body.
Indeed. Much appreciated. I shall go speak to them when we have time, for your trouble, of course. I'll go ahead and pull a gold and toss it. Go ahead and deduct that from gold right now.
Okay.
Because if we got any payment, I never got any yet. Unless it's in, the loot tracker.
No, you guys got 25 gold for the pirate bounty. They got an additional 10 for the initial contract they had for escorting the ship, which is what they were first coming out here for. Now, I'll say you got an additional 10 as well for your bringing the information about the lighthouse.
Okay. So was that 25 each or 25 split?
No. It would be 35 for everybody, and that's each. So you each have 35 additional gold.
Excellent. I already had 19. I already had 20, not counting just tossed. So that's fine. Got it and marked it. Much appreciated, Dave. Also, while I'm here, simply to show my appreciation, and also to treat my friends, I'll go ahead and pay for a round, and if you can, send a slide of pig to our table.
Quite generous.
Yeah, we are good friends. Generosity is
Only one.
required.
Dragonborn will eat at least 3.
Oh, we shall see how far our coin holds us. and he will saunter off to a table. If they want to follow, they can. If they choose not to, they choose not to.
So Vetch normally would be out there trying to gain what coins he can from the audience, using his poor beat-up instrument that has looked like it's seen better days, especially after our last tumble with some pirates. But after narrowly escaping death and feeling on the wrong side of life, he's just going to follow Tyr over to the table, content for the moment that he's getting his meal paid for, and just take a seat next to Tyr.
All right.
Torin heard there was pig, so he also goes to the table.
So, my new friend, what, pray tell, are you looking for out of the city? What is your goal in life, as it were? Tell me your story and tell me your tale. Perhaps I can offer guidance as such that it is.
Well, Dragonborn are best at fighting. That's what we do. We are a warrior race. So I'm pretty much just looking to continue being a mercenary, getting paid to do whatever it is that allows me to swing my sword and, eat pig every once in a while.
I see. And what of you, good bard?
Well, my goals are simple, really, in life, Kvetch says, kind of scratching at his beak. Just making the best out of life, taking the coin that's loose, coming out on top of everything else. I heard Seawall is filled with people eager to spend their coin for diversions that take them away from the hardships of life, and here's to the people that capitalize on that and all the things we can do with the money we liberate.
I see. And what of you, Katag?
I don't have the map either for what I'm about to say. I don't know if that matters, but
No.
There's no map.
Oh, there was a map when I.
I mean, there's just like
If you exit out of that blank map that you have and go to
I don't
images
have
and
that
maps.
anymore.
There's
Yeah, go
one-
to images and maps on the right. And then type in Jellyfish Haven or just Jelly and it'll come up with Jellyfish Haven.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a search bar at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah, I
and
see it.
Perfect. Thanks, Apex.
Well,
you're
he's
welcome.
Yeah,
Well,
bro.
he speaks to you all. You see that while he's speaking to you all, Tyr has pulled out a small parchment. He's writing words down on it.
Can I, kind of scooch my way over there and see what he's writing?
It appears to be poetry.
It appears to be poetry. Vetch runs kind of an eye over the prose, seeing if there's any lines in there that he can steal for a future song.
So far, I'll actually just throw it in the chat.
Sure.
And while he's writing and you're peeking at the notes, Bart Wench comes and brings the mugs of ale. See how everybody is doing here. Kind of.
What is key tag anyway?
It's a Goliath.
Goliath.
I am a 8-foot, 300-pound Goliath.
They're giant, Ken.
You're only 300 pounds?
I think 310.
He's a skinny Goliath. Wentz, don't
Yeah.
judge.
Yeah, he's like Yao Ming.
Yeah. Athletic, bro.
Oh man, that's like the only sports reference I would get. One of maybe three. That was good.
I wasn't expecting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guy who's taller than Yao Ming by 3 inches, and he weighs 370, and he's pretty skinny. Just saying.
There you go. That guy too.
I feel like you should be 450.
I mean, listen, bro. I don't know.
I feel like this is a conversation that we're having at the table.
Wait, are you at the table? I thought it was just.
Bro,
Is everyone at the
We
table?
made it our way, yeah.
how are
Okay.
you?
Look, we're not all professional D&D players. They don't.
We've all been following. Like we just
Yeah,
shove the bag.
just shuffling our feet.
Yeah.
So Vetch looks at the
Trying to
notes
sell.
and secretly thinks that talented should be replaced by greedy, but won't say anything about Tyr's poem. Are you guys all there at the table with us? Because I think
Yeah.
you still have to answer the question, right, Katag?
What's
What was the question?
Yeah.
If you're at the table enjoying the meat and pork.
I am. I'm loving this meat and pork. Hell yeah. Speaking of which, I think I have some beef jerky.
I'm enjoying it quite a lot, but I'm also eager for a little more action.
I don't answer because my face is completely full of pork, and you've never seen a dragonborn eat anything this quickly.
Well, when you
I've
say
never seen a
action,
dragon.
what are
Never
you
seen
talking
anyone
about?
eat
Are
anything
you
that quickly.
what exactly did you have in mind?
Me?
Yeah, you said you were looking for a little more action. What did you have in mind?
I'm thinking I challenge Dragonborn Boy to an arm wrestling.
Arm wrestle!
match.
Arm wrestle!
I pound
Yeah.
my
That-
fist and I'm super stoked. And I'm
That
like,
was
"You're
one of
gonna
the-
lose.
That was one of the only things that can take me out of my trance of pork, and I
So,
immediately agree to.
And I
So-
have an arm
say,
wrestle.
let's go, non-winged
Wait, wait.
bitch.
Because I've been meaning
So-
to prove my.
Vetch
Bring it against
like
you.
takes the flagon of mead, like thumps it on the table so hard that like ale comes, kind of nudges on Bach and says, "I will put a wager. I will put 2 gold on Katag that he wins this arm wrestling."
Boom, done. Easy.
Done.
I get
Done.
up
Let's
and I go
go.
over and I get right behind Torn and I just start rubbing those shoulders and I go, listen,
So Vetch is like pounding his fist on the table, like, "Let's go, Katag. Let's go."
I flip
do
another
this.
coin towards Vetch.
Oh, another coin!
Hoping Vetch will remember the last time that that I saved the last 2
and
times,
I still rubbing his shoulder.
I saved
Get your
him.
head in the game, man. Get your head in the game.
and maybe that maybe that
Pass.
Vetch shouldn't bet against me because
So Vetch catches the coin out of the air and thinks this guy's a sucker because if I lose, I only have to pay up 1 of my own gold. So we're ready to go. Let's go.
I tell him, I'm like, it's just a cheeky bird, man. Get over it. I know.
a cheeky
I
bird.
know that you're a Dragonborn, man. I know it was rough for you when you were trying to fight all these people and it straight up melted the face off a pirate captain, and you were like, "Oh, what do I
So
do
that's-
now?"
I
But I
turned
believe in you. You got
I
Vetch-
turned
this.
to you and
Feathers
got
kind of
this.
bristle under the robe. You can see him kind of puff up like a bird that's gotten all like fluffy. And he's like, "Bird, I'll show you who's a fucking bird."
I turn to you and say, "That was pretty good how you burned off that person's face.
Yeah, I got
You
this.
glorious man, you."
And I say,
Enough talk.
Are we gonna actually arm wrestle?
Let's go. You ready?
I agree.
Katana
What do we
slams
roll?
his teeny tiny skinny fist down on the
All right.
table.
So
Oh my god!
How do you even know that? Is
I
that
don't
just
know.
what is that? Is that you putting
Should
your
I
arm
roll?
on the table?
no, athletics is what I was going to call for that, but there's
All
going
right.
to be a few rounds.
No!
Get wrecked. I throw
You're
your
not-
arm through the
No.
fucking
Ready.
No, you
table,
don't.
boy.
No, you don't. So
He wasn't ready.
I look at the bird. I said,
I break his
Alright.
arm off.
all right. So what happens here is with all this commotion going on, you start locking. You lock your hands. You start moving back and forth. Right now, Katag's starting to get the upper hand, but the contest isn't over yet. Your hand hasn't touched the other end of the table yet. Roll another athletics check, please.
Dave, you screwing me here.
Oh wait, I might have
Yes.
rolled wrong.
Attaboy.
Oh,
Attaboy.
there we go.
Here we go.
Good thing I didn't hit the wrong thing.
Oh,
Damn
so
it.
Torin with a 21 and Katag with an 8. So Torin's like hands getting really close to the table and then just looks with this draconic, fury. You just see that little twitch of the eye as the hand starts pushing back against yours, Katag, and your eyes just kind of like bulge, like you can't believe the strength that's coming from this being before you. And now your hand has reached the apex and starting to go over the other side. Your arm tilted to the side. Let's make another athletics check.
I say to him, "Are you still tired from chasing those two pirates?"
Let's go! Let's go!
Can Vetch pause and kind of break the third wall and go, methinks me being screwed, looking like right at the camera?
That's pretty good.
Oh, no! So Katag with a 22 and Torin with a 12. Katag just kind of, as his hand starts going down, just kind of chuckles a bit, and he kind of gives this look like, I was just fucking with you, Dragonborn. As this hand just comes back with fury, and you feel like just this resistance that you didn't feel before as your hand, Torin, goes all the way back and slams into the other side of the table.
Boom.
How's it feel? Alright, don't it?
Hang on. Out of character, but have you guys seen that one clip of that little girl that's like obsessed with the arm wrestling match? She's like going crazy. She almost looks demonic. She's like a 3 or 4 year old. Yeah, that's Vetch living vicariously right now. But I'll link it to you guys later.
I take a deep sigh, and I say, "Well done, Goliath." and then I go back to picking up small pieces of my pork.
not a humble person, so he looks at him.
Really talk.
All right. All right. He looks at him. He's like, "Yeah, that's right. Walk away."
The Vetch kind of holds out, nudges Anbach again in the ribs, and kind of holds out the hand, like, "Come on," giving the flexing the claws and like a pay up motion.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay. You're talking to Anbach, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He owes me money.
I look to Anbach and say, I'm sorry for letting you down.
Then go back to stuffing your face with pig.
Yeah, exactly. And I mumble under my breath, if only this were a sword fight instead.
Ooh.
And I say, I go, ooh, snap, and I slap him on the back, and I was like, it was a good match. And then I think I don't know if I've already placed my coins on the table, but I feel like I hand them to Vetch.
So Vetch.
And I'm like, just so you know, we're both gonna pay for this later.
So Vetch kind of pockets them, kind of looks at them. Eyes get a little misty at that nice gold sitting in the palm, and then kind of pockets them in the robes.
All right. So, yeah, it was a brief little commotion with the impromptu arm wrestling match. The tavern doesn't really calm down as you do it. In fact, you get a few attentive viewers just also betting on the arm wrestling match. And then once that clears out, everybody just kind of goes back to singing and drinking, what they were doing prior. Torin, having failed the arm wrestling match, will not fail that pig before him and just takes mouthful after mouthful of pork.
This is making me weirdly hungry. I don't know.
Me too.
I just ate, so we're good. Literally, in real life.
Tears just being quiet, watching everything.
Oh yeah.
He has wrapped his parchment up and has placed. He has finished.
Where's
it in his bag.
Tears' partner?
Where's Gob?
Now.
Yeah, so since you've come back here, Gob has gone back to pretty much the watch. He's a local mercenary, so he goes back and forth for various contracts, and he was just contracted out to assist Tyr in the endeavor of going to the lighthouse.
So he's not part of our thing anymore? Like, he's not...
No, he was and the old guard would call him men at arms. But basically he was essentially like a little hireling. So once his job was done, that's it.
What? He's gone? We didn't even
Good
say
thing
goodbye.
he wasn't really that talkative in the first place.
Hey, he carried things for us.
Oh yeah, wasn't it dead bodies?
I love.
I mean, I love Gob too.
And I am like, should we go find Gob?
Gob seemed like a pretty solid dude.
We've
I
already
want Gob
got
to
two
join the
muscle
party.
bound call
I was
guys.
like,
Yeah, but one of them just kind of got embarrassed in front of the whole group.
I got a 20 as well, right? You were scared
Gob
for a
didn't
second.
talk back. Gob didn't have attitude. Vetch
You
likes
were-
that about Gob.
Yeah, the
Golf
two,
us.
us two.
Wait, Dave,
Cuss,
Gob
going
really
in it.
left us without saying goodbye?
Yeah.
Oh my
Did he
God.
say goodbye to
why
Tyr?
is this-
I can't believe we just noticed.
Why do you care about that?
Did he say?
Party member.
The only question I got is, did he say goodbye to Tyr? Because he was Tyr's brother.
Brother?
No, dude. They were just when they showed up. Tyr was like, "Yeah, I don't know. He's here."
Well, it wasn't
No.
quite that, but
You loved him.
Golb is a. Golb and I were hired to go upon a mission. Now that is complete, it was time for him to part ways.
I mean, the
But he
dude's
could
name
have
was
shared
Gob.
in the meat and the pig with us.
Yeah,
before
we're
he
having a
left.
little celebration thing.
He
here,
helped us
like,
vanquish the threat. He just
More
goes,
pork.
Gob.
Can we go
pork for
find
me.
Gob? I want to go find Gob.
Unlike us,
we're having a romp.
if I may, unlike us, Golb has his own life here, and I'm certain he is going to attend that. He is not an adventurer. He is a professional. For lack of better terms, he is a professional man-at-arms. He was performing a duty, and that was what he needed to do. I suspect he has gone back to be with his family.
So Vetch likes Gob because Gob doesn't throw people up towers or
Rip stuff
I'm
off
not-
lose
Towers.
arm
Likes
wrestling
Gob.
contests.
Yeah,
And feels really bad that Gob isn't actually here to like partake in
feel
the
like
festivities.
everything-
And can't believe that Gob, the silent, taciturn Gob, actually has a family that he's going to instead of, enjoying the free food
that's
and
crazy. What is
What a
Gob?
jerk.
Baby Gob
What-
looks
just
like?
to be clear here, I'm pretty sure Kateg believes everything he said is done so far in this is completely on the up and up and warranted.
That's
Like,
fine.
I mean, clearly you guys are judging him
It's
based
a
off his
different-
skull
you have a
cracking.
Different type, like a line of morals, dude. Dude, we're getting off topic. Why are you making
What is
this about
happening?
you? This is about God. We all go on this crazy adventure, come back, and we're having celebratory drinks, and not one of us invited God.
Vetch agrees.
Not
Vetch
You know what?
agrees.
I know he
Invite.
probably just wandered away with his head down, like he said, God.
No, I
And
assure you
then-
that is not the case. And should we need Gov to accompany us in the future, I'm certain we can hire him again.
You set out his little signal for Gob, and then he comes. He sees a silhouette in the clouds.
Oh, like a dragon.
Oh, like Batman was my
Actually,
Yeah, I was thinking Batman as
I
well.
think
Okay, that's good enough claim.
Dave, I'm so sorry.
I feel like I ask. I understand. I understand what tears, or I'm picking up what he's putting down, and I say to whoever is the barmaid or whatever, I'm like, listen, we're gonna do some shots.
Same.
Can I say that she brings us some shots? Can we order shots?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, let's see here. All right. So they really don't have kind of like medieval shots per se, but what she will bring you is a bottle of a very potent, fine wine that you can each, just have glass.
Who's
after
paying
glass
for
of-
this? Is this
That-
still
I
tier?
don't. Why? I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it's on the
No,
house.
no, Tier
right?
paid for one round and some food.
Well,
Oh,
since
so who's paying for
Onbach
this?
lost the bet.
Can I
No,
like wink
you
at the
lost the
barmaid?
bet.
Can I like wink at the barmaid and be
I
like, "This
didn't
is on
take the
house,"
bet.
right? Like, I'm pretty persuasive, I think.
I'm not the one who made the
We
bet.
can't put this on tiers tab.
Why won't you let me try to get these for free?
You know what?
Why
You
don't
know
Okay,
what?
fine, go
free,
for it.
Free wine.
Go ahead and get it for free, but if we can't
I
get it
don't
for free,
want one.
I'll
You just
I'll
have to
pay
buddy.
for the if there are
Do I have
rounds.
to
I'll pay for
roll
the first.
something to convince the barmaid to give it to us for free?
Well, how would you try to convince her to get free drink, especially expensive drink?
With my body. Kind of saddle up over to her and I'm like, thanks, sweetheart. Like, really cool for you to bring.
Charmer. That's what you're
can
saying,
I-
right?
I'm charming the hell out of her.
Hold up,
my
can
dude.
I be his hype man and tell her how he melted a pirate's face off?
Yeah, dude. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So roll if you have persuasion. Roll that,
Okay.
and if you're going to use the help action, roll it with roll it again because he's helping. He mentioned he was helping.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
why does he get to roll it again? Oh, okay, both of them roll.
Well,
Damn,
no,
what?
no. Torn doesn't roll.
Or Apex.
Unkbot
I don't
rolls
roll?
again. No,
I roll
Unkbot rolls
again. What am I supposed to do?
Alright, guys.
Same-
Advantage?
No, just roll persuasion one more time.
Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that one wasn't really looking too hot.
No, I was gonna backfire.
You rolled a 1?
Yep.
Well, no. Now it's in.
I don't know what it is.
Wait,
I
what
can't
happened?
read it.
Where'd it go? I rolled a 9, didn't I?
Well, apparently you didn't because it's not in the chat.
Did you,
Did you
click
do a
these?
practice?
So do I have to roll it again?
Yeah, we got to see it in
It
the
didn't-
chat
it didn't
box.
roll.
Okay.
You're just lying
There we
about how
go.
great you are.
Okay. Don't worry. None of them were good. So we're getting.
Wait,
I rolled
so-
that
Wait,
way.
wait.
You don't know. Maybe she has very low
Wait,
expectations.
hang on. For
and-
clarification,
and
this is to
settings.
pay for the drink, right? Trying to impress the person to give us
I'm
free
trying
free
to-
boobs.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Smoother.
maybe
That's
other
what's
stuff,
happening.
But this is.
This is the starting point of me in a relationship.
Is a barmaid hot?
That doesn't matter.
It does.
Let's see.
What
You
matters
don't
is if
get
Anbach
free
is
drinks
hot.
yet.
She's cute-ish, in my opinion.
Is she human? Wait, what race is she?
Doesn't matter.
Or
It does? Or
I mean, she's. I don't want to say she's,
She's an
really
18?
beautiful,
That's
but
a joke.
no, she's not 18. She's definitely well above average. She's not like supermodel or anything, but she's quite pretty. Just for somebody who
what
works at
race
tavern.
is she?
So
dwarf. Please say dwarf.
she's got that beard that you
No.
just hang on to, right?
Beautiful dwarven beard. It's all braided. It's got flowers in it. She's
No.
ready for a night on the town.
I'm
Basically-
gonna say, considering her, her charisma with this, I'm gonna say she's a half elf.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh.
Wait, Dave, that's racist.
Why is that racist?
Because considering her charisma, she could be a really charismatic halfling.
Let's do charisma turn.
She could be a really charismatic dwarf with flowers in her braid
Start trying to make
and
me with
this
a dwarf.
beautiful like oil sheen.
That'd be a good cup. 6'11", dwarf.
All right.
I'll keep
Maybe-
that in mind.
wait,
Vetch
wait,
for the next tavern
maybe-
wench to hit on you.
Maybe she's a dwarf contortionist.
We're having too much fun with
Got
this.
like this oil in her
Okay.
beard, like amazing
Has
flowers. She
spoken.
put rogue
She
on her.
knows her. She knows her ways. You know.
Just
She's
because
like-
she rolled high doesn't mean she's a half elf. She could be a halfling and gone out of her way to make herself
has
beautiful.
spoken. She's
She-
she's like a solid 6.5, 7. On that-
What the hell?
Who
What
has
is wrong?
who's
She is a
like-
very calmly half elf. She has kind of
Calmly.
long blonde hair. She has very
Yeah.
pretty blue eyes like the ocean. Her skin is
Half elf.
very
Okay,
fair.
Right.
Hmm
I'm gonna get saddled with
Can
the
I
dwarf,
use
aren't
that?
I?
Your eyes are like the ocean line in there somewhere.
You can, and as you
think
you
that's
know
part of
you
it.
start putting on the moves with that, trying to lower the cost of the drink there. Well, your skin is a nice, pretty blue too, but the price is still going to be 10 gold, sweetie.
The vet just snickers
Oh,
at that. That is
no.
hilarious. Oh no. Is that what
Katog says underneath his breath that that's more embarrassing than what happened to Torn.
Oh my god.
Can I roll? Is there anything I
I
can do to
snarl.
influence her? Like, can I start singing a song about how amazing Onbach is and how he melted the face off this
that'd be
pirate?
cool.
This is what you should be doing.
You should shush. I'm
Torn, you're a terrible wingman. Let's go.
Can I like influence this in any way?
Let's see.
Just want free drinks.
Tell you what, Vetch.
Yeah.
We'll let you try to do this since she's already been trying to influence with this. I'll let you roll a performance with disadvantage to see if you can still convince her.
Disadvantage.
Yeah, because she's already.
She's already like.
But I'm an amazing. Okay, well, all right.
Well, that's
All
why
right.
you have this chance to
Oh,
prove how
it's-
amazing of a bard you are.
It's
Did
karma.
I get that? Oh, did that not roll?
Yeah, I see what
No, it
Vetch
did not
got
roll.
doing. Like, let's go Vetch. Let's go Vetch.
And
Vetch
wow,
betted against me, so I
a 9. Okay.
I bust out laughing in the bar.
Listen, you lost arm wrestling contest, not me.
So what started out to be a nice tale about melting pirate faces and swashbuckling adventures, the laughter from some of your comrades as you try to come up with witty lyrics for this just drown out the performance a little bit, and you see her just kind of almost smirk at just the attempt here, and so what'll it be? Would you like to partake in the wine, or would you prefer something else?
I think we're all down for the wine because I had a point to all this. Can I tell her just to like put it on our tab?
Whose tab is this?
We don't have a tab. That's
I
not a
think
thing.
it's Tier's tab.
It's Tears.
Yeah.
tab.
I
Tier
feel like-
started it.
Tier paid for a round of drinks and some food.
But
He's
you
not-
opened
No, you're
the tab,
right.
dear
You know
Tier.
what? You know what? I'll pay for it.
Let me hold on. How about Anbach and I split the tab since Tyr bought me pork? And
You've been
Why
tossing
doesn't
coin the
why doesn't
entire
Vetch
time my way.
just
No,
want
I'm not
arm
fucking.
wrestling bet?
I'll split it with Anbach.
Listen, do you have any gold left? Because you've been tossing coins at me like left and right, man. I don't know if you have any coin left. Do you have
I've
coin left?
tossed 2 coins at you, I believe.
Mm.
Only.
You
Alright,
wait.
I'm
you
down
guys
for that.
can
I'll
come out
split
of
it. I'll
this?
split it. I'll split it with Torn. I just want to get the wine, and I want to have a toast to Gob. And
To
say
Gob.
Yes, to Gob.
That to God.
I don't
Gob.
toast to Gob because more pork from me since Gob's not here.
Yes.
Well, we're toasting, not with toasting with
So
pork.
Yeah, but if he was here, I wouldn't get more pork.
But we're not
Yes,
wishing he
we're
was
not-
here.
Well, we are kind of. But
I am
It's not, but it's not like it's not a fairy
toast.
tale.
It's like a nice. It's like
Look,
it's
I'm-
a polite thing.
We're not
I'm
rubbing
not-
a lamp though.
Okay.
Like
I'm not toasting.
So
So
we're
we're
here-
raising our
wait,
glass of.
and you're
of
picking out a
hard-ass
pork?
wine.
We're all
Yeah.
raising our glasses to Gob, who helped us, carried our shit, took us through the adventure, and you're stuffing your face with pork.
That's
and
right.
We say, hey, Torn, you want to raise a glass of God, and just so I'm clear, just so I'm understanding, you say no. If he was here, he'd be eating all the pork,
Yeah, yes, exactly.
and we go okay. I think I say cheers.
I pout a little bit.
All right.
Vetch
Cheers
laments
to,
for what could have been for a person to stand between him and the people that throw people up towers.
And
The Dragonborn
he
fiery
was
temper.
the guy that before we set off from that lighthouse, he helped me bury the bodies. And
Right. So Vetch raises his glass and says, and clinks it against Onbox and says, "Cheers to Gog."
Cheers.
Gog.
you said
And then I feel like maybe I kind of jump up and try to clang Katan's glass because for some reason he's holding it super high, so it's like 12 feet in the air. And I just kind of do
12
that,
feet.
and then down in one, this hard ass wine, and I make
down with that.
I actually make a face just like my icon. I go ah. That was good.
That is a good.
Yeah. So the the bottle of wine I bring out is a very fanciful bottle for 10 gold. It most certainly should be. And as you pour it, it's got this very sweet smelling aroma to it. Very almost not quite a deep crimson, a little lighter shade of red. And it's not as watery as most other wines. It's a little thicker than some of the ones that you've seen here. And as you take a shot of the wine here, take the whole glass, you just chug it. I want everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
Uh-oh.
How do I do that?
I don't like the way this is going, Dave.
Is it just right off the main thing?
Yeah, just the
Wait, hang
save.
on. I had disadvantage on, right?
No,
Does that count?
Well, you didn't have disadvantage. You just want to make the Constitution.
Just to be clear,
What is-
I lagged.
Hang on. What does dis dropped 18 mean?
Oh wait, that's a
Disadvantage
save.
dropped an
Hey, I don't know what this
How do
means,
you-
but I got
yeah,
a good one.
make sure you're clicking the save. So on the right hand
What's
side
the
of your
save?
main, there's the
Oh,
saves.
right hand side. Yes, I'm a winner.
I'll try this again.
But we pick Constitution.
Ah,
Yes,
Save
Constitution.
There we go.
Oh no!
I don't even know what this is.
Oh!
All right, so Tyr with an 8, Torin with a 23, Katog with a
Damn.
19, and Vetch with an 18,
Oh my
and
god!
Ankba with a 3.
Oh
So
my god, whatever's gonna happen, I'm sorry, Win.
Tyr and Ankba, you both take a swig of this, and it's very sweet, but it's very strong. It almost has a light burn to your throat as you drink it down. And as soon as it kind of hits your belly, you feel the warmth start to grow to almost like a light fire. And then you start to get a little lightheaded, and your words start to slur a bit. This is extremely potent wine.
What did you do to the barmaid, guys? Come on.
I was not involved.
Now, Torin, Katag, and
I was
Vetch, you both
watching
drink it, and
Torin
you feel
figure
kind of
out.
the same effects. You feel the warmth grow in your bellies, but you don't feel the rush to your head, the dizziness, nor your words slurring. You do feel that this is, tastes good, and it's quite strong, but it's not quite getting you as drunk as it is affecting Tyr.
We know.
Tyr is going to stop drinking at that point.
Wait, Tyr, did you? Oh, you did roll. Okay.
Sounds like it's
Yeah.
too late. For...
Can you stop drinking?
Oh yeah, you can stop drinking anytime. It's just this wine is very, very potent. It's you're not sure what brand this was given, but it was definitely worth the 10 gold that they gave you.
Yeah, 10 gold to give people an idea. You spent 10 gold on wine. That's like an entire person's salary for like 3 months.
Yeah. Well, we just made 10 gold on our job, so.
Exactly, but that's why.
You use all that gold into the wine?
No, we used half of it. I split it with. So.
Guess who still's got 10 gold? Me.
All
We
right.
won't have a head soon.
Oh, you wanna fight me?
No, this is not the way. I'll show you.
Listen, he's drunk, alright? He wants to swing on me, man.
People are most honest when they're drunk.
Being inebriated, Tyr is going to stand up. Because it doesn't sound like we're completely sloshed. It just sounds we're buzzed. But he's buzzed enough to do this, and he pulls the parchment that he's been writing on, the second parchment,
Ooh.
And he announces to the bar and anyone who will listen, whether or not they're listening, he doesn't care at this point. Gather round, for
Yeah.
I have a new composition to entreat the night. Donations are not required, though, if you wish to as well. I call this Fresh from the Temple.
Fresh.
Is where I met her. She was surly, uncouth, a true right cur. Yet when I saw her, in truth, I was smitten with of love. I had been bitten. She taught me to stand in this world and to live. She showed me the wonders that this land could give. When we were together, it would forever last. But the moment didn't linger. It faded too fast. So we had a job to do, and just like any other, into the dark, our backs we each would cover. When things went sour, we fled, speak. In the shadows we moved, in darkness our creed.
Ooh.
When surrounded, we felt like we were beaten at last. Cornered, surrounded, and deflated, our die had been cast. When the time came, she made a choice.
Jerk hiccups.
She told me to leave. She called with her voice.
It's so perfect.
I did, though I wished that I had died at her side. For I know in heaven she waits with arms open wide. This is my story, and this is my tale. As I sit in this tavern, sipping my ale. So listen all, and take heed, I say. When you find love in life, cherish each day.
That's some rhyming you got, Tier. Little clap.
Thank you.
I actually did think it was good, but I clap really hard because, you know, you gave me pork, and I don't want you to think I don't appreciate it.
So, Tier, I was gonna say, roll the performance again.
I should have gotten to myself, but he's too drunk to think about that.
Okay.
Oh shit!
I have
still-
a feeling that was an advantage roll, so that one probably doesn't matter.
That is correct. So, let's see value on this.
13's not bad.
We'll see here.
Oh, is it one of those where you take the highest or something?
Yeah, it was an advantage roll, probably for the performance.
Cool.
Correct.
It's hard to actually fake hiccup and do that right.
Wait, were you fake hiccuping?
Yeah, that was totally fake.
Oh, that was awesome.
I was also slurring because my
Role
character-
play 100. Not 100%. What am I gonna fucking? What do I mean? On point. There we go. Role play on point.
Oh, we were drunk, so I figured drunk hiccups.
Yeah. I honestly thought those were real. Great.
Alright, I'm still trying to find this chart here. Just had it a moment ago before we started all that, and of course it's not going to show me. Try searching for it this way. Nope. So one thing I do not like about Beyond right now, the search is garbage.
I'm not a fan of the search. I messed with it.
Same.
You have to kind of like know exactly what book you're looking in, and
Oh, not even that. If you try to do just the word search and the filters, it pulls up the wrong things.
Hmm.
Here we go. This may have what I'm looking for. Hopefully. Nope. That'll work. Nope, that's not it. God damn it. You get gold. I'll have to calculate a bit. I cannot find the chart that I need. It's like they just don't want to show me it. And I say that, and here it is. Okay, so 13 is going to net you... Okay, well, 13 is going to give you 1 gold with that performance. So, and part of the reason why is the bar, the whole tavern actually, you're not sure how long you guys have been drinking, arm wrestling, eating, but the tavern's cleared out a little bit since you first came in. You're not sure how many hours may have passed, but it seems a lot more vacant now. So the money that you do get from that adds up to the equivalent of a gold piece. So there's a lot of silver, copper, things like that.
That's fine for a brief performance that a drunk person performed because he was drunk and feeling sentimental.
I'll put it this way: if this was the Saturday game, that would be candidate for inspiration. So,
wait, that's why you gain a point, right? For a good performance or something?
Well, okay.
No, inspiration is something complete. It's a different mechanic. I don't want to throw that in here just yet with that. Essentially, in 5th edition, in a nutshell, inspiration is kind of like the DM's carrot stick to get the players to kind of play a specific style. It's like, oh, here's a reward, and that's what inspiration is. It's complete DM fiat, how it's usually issued. I hate that about it, which is why... something I just told them about their Saturday game. I'm gonna try to do this to award some inspiration as well as some encounter rewards. They've already had 2 in game for their campaign, where depending on the choices they make, they get inspiration or not. They had one where they could have got reverse inspiration, which would have been bad because it means I get to mess with their rolls once. So. Inspiration lets them kind of get advantage on a roll. So we'll incorporate that later on. I want to make sure you guys have all the core foundations before we start tacking on these extra tidbits here. But yeah, RP like that is definitely rewarded, and at least in my games. And I think any DM who runs and players get involved with that should definitely reward the players for that. It just brings enjoyment to everybody. So, anyway.
Well, my friends, I appears that we have drunk this tavern 2 wee hours, and yet we have not yet secured our lodgings.
We've been here for a while.
As I have, in the past, had to sleep underneath a box, I suggest that instead we take what coin we have remaining and seek shelter for the night.
Shots.
No. Tis something I will state. There's a point when one stops. For reasons quite clear. Come, my friend, let us tarry from here.
Nice.
Carry on.
Nice.
All right.
Wait, can I ask a question? What is the state of Anbach right now? Because I feel like that wine had quite a severe effect on him.
Mechanic wise, your poison condition, which used to be the old inebriated condition, they just combined it to the same thing because they did exactly the same thing. Right now, it really doesn't affect you unless you're doing, ability checks. You basically get a disadvantage on them. So you're just kind of stumbling a little bit. You're not falling on your ass drunk, but it affects your performance with that. It was very strong wine. And you still have some of the bottle. You haven't drank all of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you still have some of the, because you can just cork it and keep it's wine.
What do you guys
True.
think? Should we save it for later?
I think we should save it for later.
You're drunk.
Could become a tradition after successful mission or endeavors.
I agree. Vetch is down for saving it for later. A little bit of alcohol, a little bit of hair of the dog is helpful before performance, so I'm all for saving it for later.
Hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog.
I note to self in the back of my mind to not let on Bach drink as much next time.
All right, so for lodgings, this inn has really kind of two levels of lodging that it offers. Actually, I take it back. There's technically three. There's the common room, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a bunch of people laying on community mats. These are people that are just piss drunk. Some of them may have pissed their pants or crapped themselves. You're sharing a room with these kinds of people. Then you have your private rooms. They start at a modest kind of comfort level. Those run about 5 silver a night. And then you have something a little more comfortable with that, a little more lavished, which is 8 silver.
8 silver? How many silver pieces to a gold?
It'd be 10.
10.
So
it's 8 silver for a room, right? For one room?
Correct. For one room.
Okay.
Does the barmaid stay here? Like, does she have lodging
She doesn't.
or in the vicinity? Or does she have like a commute?
Tyr tosses down 8 silver from the performance that he made, and he's drunk and kind of teary-eyed, so he's going to schlep into his room tonight.
All right. Vetch also kind of feeling the pain, the ache at the crossbow, and having just won the bet on the arm wrestling, tosses down 8 silver as well and takes a room.
Okay.
Torin sleeps in the common room because he's not afraid of anybody and doesn't really care about how good his accommodations are.
Okay, now keep in mind with the common rooms, since you're not alone with those, there is a chance, since you're this nice adventurer who's got all this fancy armor and equipment, that's money to a lot of people.
Wait, what was that last part?
That's money for to a lot of these people.
Would I? What are you saying that
there's a chance that you may lose something?
Get robbed?
Is there any way to counteract that other than like would I enter into a battle scenario, or would
no? Basically, you'd have a passive perception while you're sleeping, and they would have to try to use their sleight of hand versus that. So, if they make it, then they get to pilfer something from you, be it coin or other items. So that's the chance that you take living in the lesser conditions. Not to mention, there's also a chance for things like disease, fleas.
Okay, fine. How much you said for the not the great one?
The lesser of the two is 5.
Yes.
That's a very modest room. It's basically a bed, chamber pot.
Chamber pot.
Yeah.
Right. So how much would that be out of what I already have?
It's 5 silver pieces. So a gold piece is 10 silver.
So how would do I just give them a gold piece and they get 10 silver, even though I'm only paying for 5?
No. Basically, you'd subtract 1 gold from your sheet, and you would, if you don't have any silver, you just put 5 silver. So it's like breaking a dollar.
Give me my change. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Exactly. Yeah, they give you your money. They don't just take your whole gold and run away with it.
Okay, fine. I go for the lesser of the two, because I don't see the point in spending all that money for the nicer room.
Fair enough. All right, so everybody has their lodgings. Now, with the private rooms, it's a lot harder for things to happen to you in those rooms. Not guarantee nothing won't happen, but it's a lot more rare with that. So you spend the night. You actually sleep in a nice, comfortable bed. Even the modest, it's still a nice bed. There's nice bedding in there, and it beats the cots on the ship that you had to sleep in for the past few nights. So you wake up feeling refreshed. So even though you still were already healed and you already had your spells with that, you still feel a lot better. You're not stuck on the ship anymore in that cloistered room with everybody. You just kind of have your own space, your own private space, which is nice to have. But it is morning, and you don't have to really kind of check out till about late morning. You can hear some activity downstairs. Sounds like they may be serving breakfast to some of the other patrons. Kind of hear soup tureens, little ladles being hit.
Any pork?
Well,
Bacon, right? Eggs.
Let's see here.
As long as there's meat, I'm fine. But if there's
Or-
pork, we're going for that specifically.
Well, no, not eggs. He's dragonborn. Come on, it's his brethren.
Yes,
Hey,
they're serving
no one said
they're dragonborn eggs and bacon.
Do dragonborn females give birth to live young or eggs?
Great.
Eggs.
I think
That is a good question. Eggs?
Eggs. Yeah, one
Pretty
thing I don't understand with the art approach on Dragonborn is they gave the female Dragonborn breasts. I never quite understood that.
Say that.
I had no idea. That's weird.
I didn't know.
Yeah, they're
but
not
I
really
just knew you were gonna
mammals,
say that.
but each to
Well,
their own, I guess.
snakes can either have live young or eggs at the same right, different depending on different species.
Theoretically, if we're talking evolutionary structure, breast simply indicates that they in some
Mammary
form,
glands.
yeah, they in some form produce milk for young offspring. So I mean that doesn't matter how they're born.
Tyr, are you a biology teacher?
No.
Aw, I was gonna toast you. I was gonna cheers you, but
He's just
feels bad,
educated.
man. Edumacated. Okay, I see. Yeah, no mammary glands on snakes, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they want to attract other races, and it's just for sure. It's like the
Decorative.
Like why do Asari have?
Still drunk. We see. I see.
This is an important question, man, and it talks about your aversion to eggs or not.
Like on box, he has a certain tint of blue.
Did you?
There's no real reason for his tint of blue.
Well,
I thought you
But
were gonna talk about tadpoles for some reason.
I was gonna
really
say that the Dragonborns definitely have eggs because turns out Dragonborns are actually grossed out by the thought of like the pregnancy, and other species pregnancy.
Evolutionary decided that they wanted eggs because of pregnancy.
I don't know about that, but they were grossed out. They're grossed out by pregnancy.
We
Just
have
what it
derailed like
Okay, actually, I can tell
crazy.
I can actually tell you why they have mammary glands now. This is just
Dragonborn?
character information. Yes, I found out exactly why they have breasts.
You looked this up, Tyr?
Yes.
You're amazing. Cheers.
The reason why is because they are actually created from the best attributes of dragons and humanoids, therefore they would have humanoid traits.
So
Oh,
they
the
consider
best.
breast being the
They
best
do
attribute
have
from a human.
With the
Wow.
underline on best, huh?
No, not necessarily the breast being a humanoid best trait, but the fact that humanoids do feed young through naturally produced milk. This would be one of the humanoid traits.
well,
It's
do they
universal
need
humanoids.
breast or just nipples?
But technically, from a biology standpoint, the dependence on milk is a big pain in the ass, right? Because you have to basically wean someone off milk for months and months and months, whereas reptiles just like let them go on their own.
But they're not reptiles. They're magically created entities. That
Are they
crossed between
mammals
them.
or are they reptiles?
Maybe they're
have
birds?
Well,
They're
if they
both.
have breasts
In-
and lactation and milk, they're mammals.
dragons in Dungeons and Dragons lore are not reptiles. They are
They're magical
mammals.
creatures.
Yeah, I mean they count
Okay.
as mammals because
So they.
yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
They're not from this earth.
Well, it's basically put. The fact is they're not cold blooded. They're not cold blooded. They're not they don't become inactive in cold environments. They don't have those flaws. They're magically created entities that are, for the most part, mammalian in the fact that in older editions, at least, you could try to control a dragon with a ring of mammal control. It wasn't likely to work, but you could try it, and things like that. So technically, they are a mammalian form of life.
So when you say magic, so are they magically created, like out of sorcery?
Dragons and Dungeons and Dragons they're weird.
It depends. Well, it depends on the setting. To be honest, some of the settings they have different origins for them, but for the most part, at least when I run, at least not the hardcore published settings, dragons are usually creatures that started out from magic, but evolved to what they were, something better than their origins. They fall in love. They have wars, politics, just like humans. So, but their offspring are pretty much, they hatch. They're little hatchlings. I like to take a lot of the lore for my dragons from a second edition box set, which Henry would remember, Council of Worms.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think, had the best handling of dragons, dragonkind, and dragonkin that they've ever published, and I like to kind of reuse that as much as I can. So basically, they do everything that other races can do with each other: war, love, all that. They can even make half dragons, which is not something they really technically have official stats with in 5th edition. I haven't really bothered making them. That's technically what the Dragonborn kind of turned into, where they're the half dragons. But their dragons are really a pain in the ass. You never want to really fight one. Especially since I like to use some of the optional rules with them to give them like natural spell-like abilities, just to, kick it up a notch.
Okay, one last question, because I think this is really interesting, and then I'm going to shut up. What is their concept of like time? Because you have them engaging in like a lot of mortal, things that mortals do, like love and wars and things. But at least in a lot of fantasy literature, their concept of time compared to like a human's time, an eye blink to them is like a lifespan and more to mortals.
Yeah, it's the same.
Same thing, yeah.
It's the same? Okay.
And some races, the playable races, kind of have a similar view to that. Like an elf can go up to live 800 to a millennia.
Holy moly.
So, yeah, and, they will love and loss if they love some of the non-elven races or the races with longer lifespans. They'll go from loss, and they'll see wars come and go, and they'll see empires rise and fall. So they have kind of a similar outlook, and there's other beings that even live longer than that will have that same mentality, that they don't care about the petty politics of dwarves, elves, whatnot, because they're not going to last. They've seen them come and go.
Right. Okay.
And then the other thing is the origin of dragons. When you get into it, their Dungeons and Dragons has always been a bit kind of iffy. There is a general creation myth for dragons in the Dungeons and Dragons settings, and they all follow a very similar. Scheme of things. It basically comes down to, originally there were 3 gods, and depending on which settings, these gods change, and then a lot of people in a lot of settings, you find out they're the same god. It's just they had different names. It started out with 3 of them. There was a sister, a brother, and then an elder brother, and then the middle brother was the first dragon, as they called him, and he sheared off a piece of his scales, or he sheared off a piece of his flesh and cast it upon the world, and from that flesh sprung the first dragons. And then his sister became jealous, and she cut off a piece of her own skin and cast it into the ground, and from that arose the evil dragons. And so these 2 dragons fought in order to make peace. The elder brother did not cut off his skin, but from his eyes cried tears that fell to the earth, and when they reached the earth, they sprung forth and came the metallic dragons, which broke a peace between the 3. And that was like the original creation myth of dragons in D&D, and then it eventually came to be things like they had names later on, like in Dragonlance the names are Tarkus, Gillian, and Paladine. In I think Greyhawk it's Tiamat, Alfreon, and
Tiamat kind of stuck with anything that wasn't Dragonlance.
Yeah, and Aaron, I think so they had different names, but usually the general kind of Dungeons and Dragons creation myth is dragons were the first race created by the gods, and then the other races came later.
Okay. Wait, Dragonlance is D&D? I heard that was a really good series to read. I didn't know.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah,
that explains why Dragonborns think they're superior.
Ravenloft's another good series if you want to pick that up too. That's
okay.
Well written.
If you read,
it's horrific to play, but great read.
Okay, I have that on like my wish list, but I didn't know it was D&D affiliated.
Yeah, it is. It's a D&D setting. If you read Dragonlance, I will tell you, keep a box of napkins nearby.
Oh no!
There's more than a couple very sudden things that make people cry. I cried. I'm not.
Well, that's good. I like the no one's safe kind of thing. That's kind of fun.
It's not quite the no one's safe, but
terrible things happen to good people.
I'll give you a perfect example. There's a rule in D&D. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be hijacking, but there's a rule in D&D. When your character is created, you're supposed to, the game master rolls some dice. And that tells you how old your character is going to be. And when you reach that age, your character dies. And for the most part, even Raise Dead doesn't work at that point. You died of natural causes. That's your lifespan. In one of the Dragonlance novels, because they were based on an actual role-playing game that Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman were playing at the time, one character hit his maximum lifespan. And so that translates into the book. So you literally have a character that just dies from a heart attack.
Jeez.
In the middle of something, he just dies, and it is tear-jerking. It comes out of nowhere, and it has no rhyme or reason. It's not integral to the plot.
Hey, that's like real life, though.
Exactly.
Okay, so, one last question for you guys before I shut up. For real, I mean this time. Have you guys read Gardens of the Moon, or Gardens? You know what I mean. Mal's and Book of the Fallen. I'm talking about no. People that based a fantasy world on a role-playing game.
I haven't.
Steven Erickson. Okay, just curious. All right. I am finished.
Anyway, so the next morning, Tyr's gonna wake up and feel very embarrassed that he talked about his past, even though people don't realize that. And he's gonna wake up and go downstairs, and he is going to get a little hair of the dog, not hair of that ale, and some breakfast, because if we're here to make money, then we have a job to do.
All right, and to answer your question, yes, there is pork. There is bacon being served. There's ham being served.
Sprinting towards the bacon as you say that.
Sprinting, huh?
Yeah, Dragonborn stomps.
Jouncing the floorboards of this tavern.
Tail knocking over
Hickory
tables.
Smoked bacon.
You have a tail?
Yeah, I have a tail.
Hey, is a tail?
Yeah, I did something with it last time.
Wait, tell me more about the breakfast.
So, there's bacon, there's, of course, eggs, there's even bits of, like, chicken, like little haunches of little chicken legs, bits of ham, of course, you have the little breakfast ales, other little spices of meat, like sausages, so, and then there's also fruits and things, but most of the patrons that are coming in, they're going for the the greasy meats, the stuff that's really bad for you because it tastes so good. They're going for that. That's the best sellers. That's what this working lot tends to like, the travelers, and they're going straight for it.
Is this included in our accommodation?
No, it is not.
Is like eating a mechanic in this game? Like, do I have to eat?
It can. For this stuff, this is mostly RP, but when you're traveling for long periods of time or in dangerous environments, yes, getting enough sustenance, both water and food, does become a thing. As Henry can tell you. Yeah. Traveling 12 hours in a desert.
I'm just letting you know, Dave, you're making me hungry, and there's nowhere that delivers this late, so stop it.
Okay. Well, I was asked to re-describe the breakfast, so I had to do so in a little more robust detail.
Thanks, Torin.
Apparently that was desired. So.
It was. Sounds delicious. I can't wait for breakfast.
So, but yes, you all go down. It's not packed as it was last night. There's a decent amount of people in here, but there's plenty of empty tables. It's still fairly early. It's probably about 8 a.m. or so. The sun is up, peering through the closed shutters of the inn right now. They're kind of keeping it closed.
How close is this into the water?
To the waterfront, several blocks. It's the waterfront district. You had to climb up a few flights of stairs, switchback stairs, to get to the main street level, and from there you walked a few blocks to you eventually went to the merchant district, and it was there that you're seeing all the different inns and stuff, and that's where you saw the Dry Manatee.
I mean, I feel like I skip the breakfast and kind of head on out towards the waterfront.
So, as you go to leave here, you're kind of shoulder checked by this male half-orc. Real kind of buff. He's got a short red mohawk with a little ponytail, and just real hoarse, kind of gritty voice. Just, watch where you're going.
Oh.
Who shoulder checks? Who gets shoulder checked? Is it Anbach?
I did.
Yeah, when he was getting ready, when he's on his way out, this orc was coming in and just kind of shoulder checks him.
Wait, was it Gob?
I feel
No, it's not Gob.
I feel like
He's a half orc.
I respond in a friendly manner. I say, "Hey, no problem. You in a hurry, friend?"
And coming behind him through the door, another person comes in. This halfling with a scar on his upper lip, just curls of blonde hair, comes in. Who are you? Get out of our way, chump. Important people coming through.
Ooh.
Can I shove the orc who shoulder checked Anbach?
Make an athletics check.
Jesus, a little testy.
Yeah, that would escalate it.
Yeah, the hell, man.
I'm all about it. Athletics, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, 25. So
Credit him.
Yeah, so you
Dead.
so you put hands on him and you shove him back, and as you shove him back, you shove him directly into another human that's walking into the tavern. He kind of catches him, and this human, he's got some biceps on him. He's definitely somebody that works for a living, and he just kind of pushes the orc to the side. Zane.
Oh, we just lost somebody, I think.
Who did we lose?
I heard the sound of somebody dropping.
Everybody's
See,
here.
everybody's here.
Okay.
So he talks to the half-orc. Zane, is this one giving you a problem? I thought you were tougher than this.
Ooh.
And coming in behind, another human comes in, this time a woman. Kind of curvy, but fit. She's got this long, loose auburn hair, wearing thigh-high boots, loose cuff shirt. Zane, I've never seen you get manhandled like that before. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you like that.
Oh boy.
And behind her is another male. This one is dressed a little sharper. Very clean white shirt, vest, short dark hair, very thin but kind of tan skin. Now, let's not mingle with this rabble. We have our own things to do, and, well, they're not worth our time.
So what, do they like walk away from us?
Well, Zane just kind of, the half-orc just kind of looks at you and, like, looks like he wants to kind of get physical, but
Like he's got a score to settle one day.
you might, if you ever cross paths again, yeah, there might be, more than just shoves being thrown.
I'm
your way.
down.
But right now, this other gentleman, the thin, tan man, just kind of said, "Hey, we have business to do," and is kind of. It sounds like the attraction of coin or whatever business they have appeals more to Zane at the moment, but just for the moment.
Can I shot at Zane. Zane, don't ever push my shoulder check my friend again. He melts people's faces off.
Yeah. What can I? Is Torn close enough for me to fist bump?
yeah, you can fist bump him.
Medieval fist bump.
Yeah.
Acrobatics check.
And
You fist bump.
you see the little halfling with the blonde curly hair just kind of look up.
Oh, is she cute?
Well, no, it's a guy. And he just kind of looks up and you could try it, buddy, but just remember, I'm high enough to box you, if you know what I mean.
And I say,
Oh,
I
speed
jump.
bag, if you know what he means. I'm talking about testicles.
Okay, I get it now. So I mean, like, do we engage them like past this, or
Oh, hey.
we kind of let them go about their business?
That's your call.
I don't think. I mean, I shoved the guy, and they're like,
I thought it was
being
straight.
I
passive.
feel like you're kind of backing off here now, and I'm like ready to go, and you're just
No.
like,
I kinda
Well,
wanna
no.
talk
Listen,
I feel
I'm
kind of
down.
like girl talk.
I'm down. I shoved the guy. That was physical. That was an
about-
action.
Yeah, you shoved him
I didn't
super
just
hard,
talk.
man, and then he gave me a fist bump.
I actually didn't talk first. I acted first, but they clearly don't want to fight us. So I mean, unless we want to save Vetch again.
I mean, I've killed people for less, is all I'm saying.
Get throw him off a tower.
Well, I'm personally a little bit.
Somebody subbed my toe and I threw him off the tower.
Look,
Sub
I,
your toe.
I want to know what business these guys are up to, and I know they're not going to do it with us kind of like getting up in their face. So I kind of like fist
Yeah.
bump, but then
I mean, I'm not being aggressive at all. I'm just saying that I'm like
really tall. I get it.
really looking forward to the aggression. If if they saw me, I'd be looking at them like
In all
I'm
this,
ready,
yes.
but I'm not like
Well, I assume our morale
not
is really
aggressive.
high.
So
After
I
being-
feel like in all this, it was me, Tag, and Torn kind of like in a scuffle, and Vetch is like
Wait, I was in this.
off. Well, you just
I'm
said
not
you were
in
giving
this.
him. You were giving him like
I was off to
like,
the
let's-
side though.
You were
Like I
giving
didn't.
him
I
like
didn't.
you were giving him like let's fight eyes. So I think you're pretty noticeable.
No, I was giving the eyes that I was giving was more like you don't want to fuck with me eyes.
Yeah, okay.
More so
you're 8
than-
feet tall, and you give him you don't want to fuck with me eyes. So I in my opinion, in that scenario,
That's a good eye.
you're very noticeable. Vetch, on the other hand,
I am.
Hey.
not been noticed. I think as part of
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
our group, and so I think we kind of let them pass and go about their business and say to Vetch, like in a whisper, I'm like, maybe they look like they're possibly, I don't know what they're up to, but they've got some business going on. Maybe we can find a way to intrude. Do you want to just maybe get a sneaky ear and see what they're going to go talk about?
Yeah, let's sneaky ear.
All right. How about this, my friends? Before we go and look for a confrontation, let us go and visit the constabulary.
Hey, I'm all good.
Visit the what?
The constabulary.
Constabulary.
That's like the
That's
police.
Violet.
No, that's like the medieval police.
Oh, that's cool.
We can go and
Well,
try
why do
and
you
see
want to
how
do that?
much
Is that-
this.
I'm not down for dragging the popo into this.
No.
Come
It's
on, dude.
indeed for us to inquire about the bounty upon the captain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do that. Let's do
All
that.
I
Let's
did
do
was-
that.
Can I
Oh,
suggest to Vetch that he like hangs back and like maybe
Hangs back in the tavern?
Yeah, I want to know what these people are up to. I don't want to lose.
I'll
them.
hold back with Vetch there. 'Cause he needs some.
Yeah, 'cause you're
I like how you guys are getting my
super-
gender all mixed
You're
up.
super inconspicuous, dude.
I'm
Well,
oh,
Yeah,
you're
it's
not
hard-
lying, Goliath.
I'm just there for protection if shit goes down, not
Well, Tyr
to-
also hasn't been noticed. Why don't the three of us go deal with the constabularies and
constabulary.
I'm about to
we'll go to
constab
the
these
P9
people.
and we'll talk about the bounty.
Who's the three?
You, me, and Torin go talk. to
Okay,
P9
and then
get
Tyr
the
and
bounty.
Vetch stay
Tyr
back?
and Vetch stay back because they haven't been noticed.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
okay.
Bring the
they
two
can-
giant rival guys who both have giant swords.
Well, whatever. we should exit because.
Listen, man, I'm pretty sure I squashed my
We're sitting
baby.
here arguing about what we're gonna do, and these guys are passing us to go about their business. I feel like we should get some intel on them. We'll go do the Po9 get the monies thing. They'll get back. They'll stay back. They'll get the info, and then we'll regroup.
Where are we regrouping at? Where are we meeting at?
I don't know. Like
Wait.
here?
Who are you trying to get information upon?
The dudes who just
The
shoved
dudes that
him.
just walked in and were like,
Whoa,
we were
whoa,
about
whoa,
to throw down, and they were like, we got more
we're picking up
important
this
matters.
conversation to a 10. Let's bring it back down to a 6.
Wait a moment.
They were like,
Your face is
we
a
were about to
6.
throw down, and they were like, we got more important things to do. All I'm
Wait,
saying
yes.
is like, we're here to make
There's
money.
no need
There's
to.
probably some info in
Wait a
whatever
moment.
those are more important.
There's no need to mix. May I give you
Whoa,
a bit of
crazy.
advice when it comes to? May I give you a bit of advice when it comes to the game of bounty hunting? Especially if that's what you want to do.
I keep forgetting Tyr's a bounty hunter. It
I
seems
don't-
so out of character. But yes, please.
Well, you must understand, bounty hunting isn't always killing. Sometimes you're retrieving targets, helping people find lost other people. It's more than just fighting and murdering. Sometimes you're helping reunite families. In any case, a important thing to note is you should never mix business and personal matters. To do so, inevitably, is how many bounty hunters make a mistake. We don't want to do that. So, regardless of if these people potentially slight to you,
Oh,
You
that's,
can
I don't think
either
that's what we were
attempt-
saying.
Yeah, we're not saying
We
that.
we were taking
you
the
guys-
people that could have been potential. Like we were taking Anbach and Torin away from the situation,
Hey, dude.
and you guys would be. I didn't do anything. I was just giving them a look.
You
Like,
were
hey,
8 feet tall, dude. Go fuck with me, eyes. You said it.
Oh,
I was simply
that
clarifying-
alone is an issue.
I was simply clarifying that if the plan was to pursue that encounter,
No. It wasn't pursuit. It was.
It was. You're
guys-
fucking 8
no,
feet
no.
tall.
I wouldn't be there.
I was referring to the people.
What I'm saying is, we would leave people that could potentially instigate the situation.
Like
And
the
then
8
you
feet tall
guys-
person.
Why do you want to fight me?
I don't want to fight you.
The potential.
I'm not saying
Stay back for info.
pursue them.
That's
Yeah, info like
infection.
eavesdrop and shit.
but
don't fight
that's
them.
the thing. There's
Yeah,
no need
like-
to gather information on them unless you're seeing them as a rival or a potential
Go
threat.
go all
Maybe a
Assassin's Creed
potential
1
mark.
on him.
I mean, I think they made it clear they're a potential threat.
Look, they wouldn't
Simple,
have been addressed if they weren't important.
that
I'm
is
breaking the
simple
fourth
bluster.
wall.
Wait a minute, that is simple bluster.
All right, all I'm saying, like, if I'm gonna break character right now, I'm saying like we have a quest to finish with the constabularies. We have a side quest happening right in front of our faces. If we go do the Pona and get the monies thing, the side quest is going to disappear because they're going to go do their business.
It's not necessarily.
Yeah,
going to
and I got a
disappear.
critical shove.
Guys, just because, just a tip about gaming in general. Sometimes you are introduced to important NPCs. That does not necessarily mean it is a side quest, and oftentimes, if important NPCs seem important, attempting to start shite with them, especially if they seem well known usually means higher level. Higher level usually means our butts getting kicked. Just
Higher.
throwing that
Only
out.
if we antagonize them here.
How do you know they're higher level?
They're well known. They walked in talking.
But I'm
about-
well known. I've been here before.
Haven't you
Everyone
seen One
sings of
Piece?
Kvetch
That's a
the
good
Bard.
point.
We are an amazing talent. Our Avian voice.
Yeah, but we know
is
for a fact
populous.
you're level 2.
There are 6 of
Alright.
them as well.
I am not a level 2.
6 of them?
I
Okay.
mean, you know that, but they don't know that.
Well, there's 5 of us.
So basically what you're saying, there's no need to eavesdrop on them and find out about what they're doing.
I think we should eavesdrop.
If
Yeah.
you want to, you can. I'm not here to make this.
Yeah, we're not. We're
Are
not
you
looking
not
to
helping
fight.
us though? Are you not throwing your weight behind this decision to eavesdrop?
I would be not one of the people here. I'd be going to the constabulary because we have a
By
job.
yourself?
Well,
That'd be you. You'd be the one that'd be here by yourself.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if the 3 of us are gonna go,
I'm not
get the
Well,
money-
eavesdropping by myself.
I would be okay with sitting back,
We
not
know,
eavesdropping,
dude. We
and
know.
just keeping the cool situation.
Well, since
If that's
since
the case, but
right. Listen. So since
I don't
Big-
think Oddbach and Torrance should be staying because they
Yeah.
had a legit confrontation.
Dude,
I wasn't
you-
literally in it.
You said
No.
okay, wait. Why do you
If they
want?
wanted something, I was gonna be ready for it, but I wasn't saying I wanted it.
you were actively giving "Don't fuck me" eyes
Look.
from 8 feet in the air.
Let's just forget about that. Meet all 3 of us here, not Katag. Go to the constabularies and whatever the hell, and those 2 can stay here since they didn't actually do it and
All right,
eavesdrop.
I'm down. Let's go get the money.
Okay,
Do
go
it,
constab
Ron.
some people.
Can I come with you guys? Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
the
so
more the merrier. We all go.
We're dropping the eavesdrop.
There's
thing.
money
Let's
at
all
the
just go get
constabulary, alright?
Let's all get the constabularies.
No one's gonna eavesdrop.
No one's gonna eavesdrop.
No one's gonna eavesdrop.
You guys suck.
I know.
I'm not being by myself doing that shit.
Dude,
I mean-
Katag just offered to hang back with you.
I'll eavesdrop. Just me. I'll stay back. I'll eavesdrop. Let's go.
Okay, fine. We're out.
No, wait. I suck at eavesdropping. I'm a big
I
giant.
know, dude. Oh my god, that's what
I
I'm saying.
can't do that. I'd be too
You're fucking
loud.
enormous.
Wait. Okay. So are you or aren't you?
He's not.
I'm
Let's all
not.
go-
I'm not. I
What the
thought about
hell?
it for a second.
Go
I
get the money.
can't. It's just not. It wouldn't make
go
sense.
get the money.
I'd fail.
If they're important, we'll run into them again. Let's go get the money.
Sure. Whatever. Fine.
I do your famous being sneaky song.
Yeah, and you sneak out the doorway or whatever.
All right. So you head out to the local constabulary, and well, I don't know why that just rolled that.
Love that.
Yeah. So as you approach, it looks like a 3-story structure, kind of red brick. The one of the some of the lower floors have some bars on some of the windows. You see some people just kind of looking out from the bars. They're probably been incarcerated for whatever reason or being held in there. Upper floors, you can't really see too much inside, but some of the windows are open there. There is movement coming from there. Outside, there is a posted guard. He has kind of a half plate mail, metal helmet, has a sword that's sheathed at his side, and has his hands just kind of fold out in front as he looks at you as you approach the entrance. Doesn't really stop you from going inside, just takes note of you as you enter into the offices.
Can I give him "Don't fuck with me" eyes?
Can I raise my hand and go, "We're looking for the constabs"? I just say that really loudly.
Constabs? Did you just abbreviate that? That's just scribbling notes in this, trying to think of things that rhyme with constabs for a future song. There's not much, but I'm making notes.
And he kind of chuckles. Go right inside.
Much appreciated.
Thanks. I feel like I put up my hand for a fist bump.
The fist bump is not
reciprocated.
Yeah.
Before it becomes obvious that he didn't reciprocate, I pull it back through my hair and later.
Play cool.
Tyr makes his way inside and heads to the front desk.
Okay, and
unless they have a bounty board, he'd head there first if there was.
They do have like a little wanted, kind of bounty board. It's also kind of a people from the town can post things here, looking at missing persons or missing things, people needing help or requesting odd jobs, things like that. It's kind of the generic boards you'd see at like your local post office. It's more akin to that. And looking on there, you're not seeing too much other than the top 10 most wanted, which are really big offenders. These are major pirates in the area, major murderers that you don't even know if they're even in this port. They could be anywhere. It's just one of those kind of be on the lookout, and this is what they look like, and they just have a laundry list of little things that they are wanted for, and very, very large bounties on them. Some of them, some of the lower ones, going for about 250,000 gold pieces.
Holy! Yeah. I thought you were just say 250. Period.
Tyr's going to go ahead and jot down the information just in case. It's probably not something we need now, but we may in the future. I take it the captain we have is definitely not on that list.
Yeah. You don't see her name on that list. But
Ashlam's not on the list?
I guess not. Not of 250,000.
No, she is not on that list.
Yeah. She was easy pickings.
But you do go to the kind of front desk area. The desk is actually part of a wall that's been kind of cut in half, and there's vertical little bars kind of separating, except for this one little central area that's about 2 feet by 3 feet wide, where it's a little opening that you can talk to some of the guard beyond. One of them who's sitting there just kind of jotting down, scribbling, looks like some notes, maybe filling out paperwork or a report. Looks at Tyr as he approaches and puts his little quill down. Looks up at him. Good morning. How can I help you?
I was inquiring about a bounty on a particular individual to see if there was one. I'll give off the name and a basic description of the captain.
Do so.
We know what she looks like, JT. We just killed her.
Yeah, I know.
And I run
No,
up behind him and I point and I'm like, yeah, I melted her face off.
Katog wasn't.
As he goes to
Wait.
say something, before he can blurt that out, because as was mentioned in the bar, we don't want to say that we've already killed the person, because that could mean there's no reason to pay up.
And then I go, just kidding, and I slowly
Typical
back.
on.
He'll just all that'll happen is if he starts to move, like he'll like hold a hand.
Okay. And he's one moment, and he gets up, and as he gets up, you can see him walk with a little limp. And as he walks past the counter, you see from about halfway, one of his shins looked like it was maybe sheared off, and he's got sort of a peg leg on there. So he just kind of hobbles over to almost like a little file cabinet, and he just pulls open the drawer, starts going through pulls out a stack of parchments, starts going through them. Ah, yes, we do. And he kind of hobbles back over. Looks like there's a bounty. 40 gold.
40 gold.
That's decent. That covers the
Yeah, you only got 10 for the last day.
Once it's for piracy, arson, and murder.
Yep, definitely the arson part. Yeah.
What's the return bounty for dead and alive?
Alive is 40 gold. Dead, 25.
Ugh.
I see. Can we, do you have someone by chance who can escort us to verify?
And he goes through he just kind of puts the paper. I can send one of the men with the information, the docket.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And he signals over to one of the other men behind the barred off counter area. He kind of motions over. This one looks like a tiefling. Very kind of wiry build, but looks like he's got a little bit of like a scar going across one of his eyes to his forehead. The eye is kind of a milky white to almost like a little grayish hue. And they both converse for a little bit, and he hands him the paperwork on the pirate. And he nods, and you see him go through a door on the other side, and a few footsteps later, coming around another door, you hear the latches turn, and he opens up the door with a little screech and walks through. So, you have this one in custody?
We have his body.
Her.
Yeah, her body, rather.
So.
We need someone who can do an identification, obviously.
Oh, so we're telling him that she's dead?
The person, yeah, at this point. The reason why you ask, one, they've already confirmed there's a bounty, so now they can't just say, well, they're dead, there's no bounty, haha. Two, the bounty wasn't high enough alive. Sometimes you can run into a situation where bounty alive is so much higher than the bounty dead that it can actually be worth your effort and time to have someone raised. This is not one of those. This is not one of those cases.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be neat.
And as such, now that we have them, we're going to need someone who can identify the body because you so badly damaged it. So
Thanks,
Um,
Wince. Good job.
Yeah, you ruined the whole game, Wince.
thus, he's just going through the steps that are necessary for this. This is his job, so he fortunately at least knows what to do.
All right. So, this tiefling says, "All right then, lead me on."
All right, we'll head out towards where, if everyone wants to follow, we'll head toward where the body is.
I follow. That sounds smart.
Is this tiefling a male?
It is.
Oh no. Okay, thank you.
Oh boy.
I don't want to get another biology discussion about offspring and.
I tell him that I like his tail. A nice tail.
He just kind of looks at you with his one good eye, and let me see here. And he winks at you with that one good eye.
Yeah.
All right. So, going back down to the pier where they're keeping the body here. Now, the body is wrapped up. Doesn't take you too long to get back over there. About a little under an hour. There's not a lot of traffic in the streets. Not a lot of merchants or carts moving through, especially going down the steps to the dock area, the wharfs. But you do get there with the tiefling. You can hear the gulls going back and forth, spinning, looking for, dive bombing for fish, trying to see the other little rats and things, trying to get some of the spilled food bits from various merchant trades. A lot of people yelling, hauling things. It's very noisy here in the docks. But you come to this little building kind of built in the side of this long towering wall, part of the wall that has the switchback steps. And as you go in, this seems to be almost like it's a makeshift temple. And they lead you to a little alcove that has the body of the pirate captain that you melted the face off. Melted so much that it blackened the bone, the skull of the captain. The tiefling kind of shows his badge to the lay priest, and they just kind of nod and let him do his thing here. He opens up the wraps for the face, and there is no face. And he looks at the paperwork and looks at you like, you've got to be kidding me. He takes a deep breath, and you see him put his right hand kind of over the center of her chest, right by the sternum, but not touching it. It's hovering about maybe 2 inches off of it. And you see these little black wisps of almost like smoke kind of dart down from his fingertips and penetrate into the skin of the captain. And he starts to kind of mumble, it almost incoherently for a moment. His other eye kind of goes white, just no iris. It's almost like the eye just rolled in the back of his head. And you see the body of the pirate captain just kind of lurch and lift up a little bit by the sternum. The head just kind of lifts up a little bit of its own accord. The tiefling speaks. And then in all of a sudden, echoed voice. What is your name? And the body, even though it doesn't really have much of a face left, much of a jaw, or bits of a tongue, you can hear this eerie voice speak back from beyond. Oh, fuck. You all right there? Speak back from beyond, and then answers his question. Who killed you? And the head just tilts slowly, and you see the arm kind of very lazily just lift up, and a finger points over toward Anbach.
Oh shit.
The tiefling just kind of nods.
Talk about convenient.
I'm back. What do you think about that?
I'm sort of like, this is creepy.
I wanna
Shit.
say that Anbach and I both looked at each other with like really wide eyes, like, oh no, what the hell just happened? What is this?
You're bounty hunters, and you took in a bounty, and this is confirming that you did the deed, and that this is indeed the target.
So I feel like Unbox like pretty freaked out right now, and he's like, all right, cool. So like confirmed, because this is freaky as shit, and I kind of want to get out of here.
The tiefling just closes the palm of his hand, and as he does so, the black wisps just stop flowing from his fingertips to the body. As it does so, the body kind of just slams a few inches back onto the stone slab. The arm that was once holding up, pointing its finger at you, Anbach, just falls down to the side, limply hanging off the stone slab. The head, the skull just pops back, also slamming into the side of the stone slab. Well, I suppose you did kill her, and congratulations, you've stopped an arsonist, pirate, murderer. Well, let's go back and get you paid, shall we?
Woo!
In a day's work.
Much appreciated. With that, we relinquish the
Good
ball
one, Torin.
into your
I
custody.
don't want to hear it from you, Katag.
I don't want to. You're just sore about the arm wrestling.
Yeah, he is.
It is.
He's a poor loser.
So,
Yeah, I remember you missing your axe that one time.
the tiefling escorts you back to the constable and hands up the paper to the gentleman behind the bar and begins talking to him and nods and is, well, looks like you've done a great deed for the folk of Seawall here. You should all feel proud. And he begins just kind of stamping the paperwork with various areas like signatures, and he starts filling out some of the forms. Well, since you've done this, I will need you all here to sign so that we can relinquish payment to you and let them know who brought this pirate to justice, so we can... There's lots of paperwork with these things. It's never easy. You all have the fun parts of the job. I envy you.
Well,
you kind of see in his eyes that, at one time he was probably like Tyr, maybe a bounty hunter or a man-in-arms, that something happened where it took his lower leg, and now he's pretty much behind a desk.
I feel like I sense his somewhat somber tune, and I put a hand on his shoulder, and I'm like, you make what we do possible, man. Like, you're good people. We appreciate it.
And he pulls out a lockbox, and he opens it up, and he starts putting out the coin one gold piece at a time, just counting it in front of you. Once he has all the 25 gold there, he has you sign a form of receipt of the payment. And once you sign that, he again starts just filling out his paperwork. Well, if you have any other business, just come back.
Are there any local low-level bounties that need to be taken in?
Well,
He's asking.
there's always the local street thugs and muggers, the breaking and entering, but the general larceny.
Can I ask him who those guys were that shoulder checked on back in the bar, and if he knows anything about them?
Okay.
Zane.
Do you want to give a name or description?
I don't remember what the other two guys looked like, but I know there was that
There was
guy
a
named.
lady, and one of the guys' name was Zane.
Yeah, well, I think that was the orc, right? Or was it an orc? I don't remember. I just remember I shoved him.
I feel like they're all on the same.
And his name was Zane. And they said they were important. One of them was short and said that he would punch on back in the balls. Pretty sure.
Yeah, something like that.
And he kind of
He would.
chuckles a little bit. Sounds like you met Jesper's crew. Yeah. They're troublemakers. I would give them a wide berth. Haven't been able to really pin anything on them yet or connect them to any of the local crime lords, but we believe they've had their hands. They've gotten their hands dirty. They'll make.
That's too bad.
And when they do, we'll catch them.
Yeah, we could have helped them make that mistake probably 20 minutes ago.
Can I ask him about Captain Tyleri? I keep hearing about this dude.
Oh yeah,
He has a tight crew, but apart from that, I don't really.
he's got a dope ass ship, man.
Yeah.
Captain Tyleri, the fiend of the 21 Seas.
That's
Captain
the
of the Leviathan, Tyleri.
Yeah, it's him.
Yeah.
Out of character. Remember that comment I made about higher level. There you go. Just saying.
Yeah, that's like
I'm just trying to get some info.
See
See what's good.
Darth Sidious of this world.
Yeah. He sounds like a bad dude.
They say that his ship is made from the bones of a great sea beast. Others say that his ship itself is alive. What I've heard from reliable sources is that ship has survived direct assaults from royal fleets. If you seek Tyleri, you seek your death.
Back off on Bach.
I'm back melts people's faces.
Yeah, dude.
He's not afraid. No.
I'm not afraid. So what are his crimes? Why send the Navy after him?
Why is he notorious?
Why, yeah.
Well, besides from the port cities that he's leveled, the people that he's kidnapped, the many trade routes that he's plundered, the many men that he's murdered. People have said that they've seen the bodies of those who've challenged him hang from these spiked bones from the side of his ship, just left there to rot and bleach in the sun.
Lovely.
This guy sounds.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
So does he,
Delicious.
why is he doing all this? Like, what's his? Does he have like an ethos? He sounds like.
Ooh, is he one of those guys who just likes to watch the world burn?
I feel like you
Watch the
you don't
world burn.
Well,
I feel like you don't get to that
he's
level.
considering he's one of the most dangerous pirates that of these seas have ever seen, I would have to say either power or money.
Ooh.
My experience, the two are often intertwined.
That's very true.
Well, I appreciate the
The insight? You're welcome.
insight. Yeah. No, I'm saying it's to the dude.
My advice.
Are you being sincere?
I'm being super sincere, and I raise my fist, and extend it to the man.
Are we fist bumping again? There needs to be a medieval equivalent of fist bumping.
No, listen.
Patented.
Like the oldie fist
on
bump.
his hands for how good his fist bumps are.
Yeah, I got nice hands.
No, I said calluses.
Yeah.
So he gives you advice: if you see the Leviathan, run.
Don't we want to hijack the Leviathan? Is that the goal? I would
No.
love to. No!
Not yet.
No, well, not yet, but the ultimate goal.
We'll do.
What was it about
I'm down to hijack anything.
Dave, what was it about the Leviathan that made it...
It can go underwater.
It's completely submergible,
It's submerged?
and
Okay, yeah.
it's large enough to be its own city.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Okay, that explains why it leveled other cities. That makes sense.
Hmm.
That's crazy. So he
Well,
must have
I
a
mean,
huge crew.
I feel like I put my hand down because he's clearly not into that. And I sort of thank him and give him a wink. And, start to walk away, I guess. I feel
Yeah,
we got all
he's
the
beginning
intel and we
the-
got the money.
Exciting part of his job, filling out tons of paperwork.
It's pretty dope.
So I go, all right, gang. What do we got to do now? Falfear still owes us some cash, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Now,
Nigel Fairservice?
it's going to take some time for him to fence these goods because he's got to get buyers and such. So one of the things that I kind of wanted to do with you all is a little rule or a little opportunity for what's called downtime activities. These are fun little kind of RP things that you can do that take usually about 5 days or so to complete. So there are various little activities. Not all of them you can kind of do because they cost money for some of them, but some of the more common ones are things such as carousing, some of the social life, committing a crime like a B&E, gambling, pit fighting,
Wait, B&E?
breaking and entering.
I can't help.
Oh, shit.
Pit fighting, just relaxation, religious service,
Fuck
training,
Apex.
and generic.
Oh my
work.
god.
So now I know Tyr's familiar with a lot of these. These are straight from Xanathar's Tyr, by the way, the revised downtime.
As in the much better one. Gotcha.
Yes, we will always be using the much better ones. So, and these are something that you don't always get to do because you're not always in a place where you can kind of do these. So it's kind of a special treat, and it does add, or at least has a chance to add some interesting things to your characters. So, again, out of just carousing with the social life, committing crimes, gambling, pit fighting, relaxation, religious service, training, work. Which of these stand out for each one of you?
What?
Pit fighting.
Wait. Go through it again.
JT, calm yourself.
Wait, what? Wait, no, hang on. Go, DT, shut up.
He
Go
said
through them
religious.
again.
Okay. So, again,
Oh, no.
just going over these. The kind of the choices now. Each of these have their own little kind of rules and pros and cons. But committing a crime, gambling, pit fighting, general relaxation, religious service, training, or work. And work could be like, for example, Vetch could be playing her musical instrument or maybe reciting
Come on.
poems.
Come on, Torin. Do the right thing.
No, shut the hell up. Oh, God.
I don't get it.
It's. Oh, no. It's an inside joke. I mean,
It's a little bit of an inside joke.
yeah.
What would you say that I does it work?
I want a
Work
pit
that I
fight.
would- No, you don't.
Why don't I? Shut up.
You know why you don't.
Stop it. Stop. Stop it.
All right.
So who wants to do what?
Wait, what was it you said that I would like hone my musical skills? Was that what you said?
Work. Yeah, that's
Work,
work.
okay.
And because so basically what work is, and I'll just kind of read it out here. When all else fails, an adventurer can turn to an honest trade to earn a living. This activity represents a character's attempt to find temporary work, the quality and wages of which are difficult to predict. So basically, you perform a job that requires 1 work week, which is 5 days.
What?
So, yeah, this is what happens
sounds
during a span of 5 days. So, depending on what you're doing, could be you can either make a strength athletics, dexterity acrobatics. You can use intelligence to use for a set of tools, or charisma performance, or charisma using a musical instrument.
So that'd be mine, and that would determine how much I get paid, or how much I improve.
Well, it determines how much earnings you make. It basically can pay for your lifestyle because you still have to kind of, pay for your living and eating. This is usually a little, can help with a little cheaper with this because it basically pays for that. So the better you do on that, the more comfortable of a lifestyle you get. Plus, you can also earn additional gold on top of that, depending on
And that
how
would
well you do. However,
Be the performance die?
well,
here?
that'd be charisma performance, so that skill check. Now, there's also things that can happen during any of these called complications.
Oh,
they're-
I'm sure.
They're not common, but when they do happen, they can add some difficulties to a worker's life. So these things can vary, but these are things that add these would add side quests that just build your character. So
That's awesome.
So Vetch, since you're going off first here, why don't you roll a performance check?
Sure thing, buddy. I
That's
did
actually
that, didn't I?
really good.
That's what I thought. I don't even need to work. I mean, I work one day, and you guys are set for
Well,
the
no,
rest
that's
of the
actually very, very good. Let me roll this other die here.
Wait, what die are you rolling?
Secret die.
Oh,
Oh,
All right.
I can't see.
Yeah, you're not going to see that die. So, Vetch, congratulations.
Yes.
You have earned enough to pay not only for a comfortable lifestyle for the entire work week, but you also earned 25 gold in addition to that.
Nice. See, the bird can sing well. That's what that tells you.
Good job, Bird.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So that was actually very, very good. So
That was a good die roll. Wait, can I ask out of character what die roll you rolled? Was that like the threshold
complications.
for like?
It was for because
Okay.
there's different chances for complications. Some of them can be as low as 10%. Some of them can be a little higher than that. And complication. I'll just give you an example for this one. Like a complication that's possible would be your employer is involved with a dark cult or a criminal enterprise.
Huh. So in the long run, would it have been better for complications to arise so that I could have taken on a side quest, or is this pretty good as it is?
Not necessarily. Sometimes they can add NPCs that make rivals. They help kind of branch off things, but they can also slow things down for you or make things a little more complicated for you, hence why they're called complications. So we don't want to always have them, but they do build some backstories, and the more times we get to do these things, the more chances you'll get them just from the downtime activities. But these things can happen outside of downtime too, just from how I set up the games. So yeah, you'll have lots of branching opportunities.
So basically, I'm set, but if someone else fails a roll or something, maybe I can help them out.
Well, you couldn't help them out. They would have to roll the dice themselves, but they may have something where maybe they get a complication where they could have a rival or something interesting happens, during their something outside the norm happens to them is basically what it is.
Okay.
And these can turn off into spin-off adventures and such.
Gotcha.
All right, who is next?
Me, Torin. I want a pit fight. Pit fight. Me.
All right. Let's see if
Do it.
Okay.
Am I like joining an underground fight club or something? What is pit fighting?
Pit fighting is essentially that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now it doesn't mean it's always illegal. With that, they do have legal, pit fights. So
what if
this
you
could
want it to
include
be illegal?
boxing, wrestling, or other non-lethal forms of combat. This isn't an organized setting, so there are going to be kind of predetermined matches. So
is it Greek wrestling, nude?
If you really want to have nude Greek wrestling, I'm sure that can be predetermined match for you.
Okay. But
again, this will take the course of the whole week. So this is you either introducing yourself to a promoter, getting a match set up, them advertising for it, and then you actually
building a reputation.
Well, not really building a reputation, just them adding you to the fight bill, things like that. So for this,
can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing pit fighting as well because I'm a folk hero, and I feel like that's.
Wait, you should be singing with me.
No, folk hero is like becoming like a hero and shit.
But it could be also singing about hero. You could be a folk hero by singing.
No, right. I didn't do the singing.
He's like
doing the pit fighting, and basically I'm wondering, is there a way for me and Torin to do it at the same time so we can?
Absolutely. Is anybody else doing pit fighting since we're at the pit fighting?
Nope, I'm singing.
I'm pit fighting.
Let's go, boys.
I was honestly hoping that you were gonna do it too, because
Because you lost to arm wrestling and you're salty as fuck.
It's honestly a good story. Let's be real here.
I agree. I'm down with it.
The character arc.
Okay.
Is tremendous.
The redemption character arc.
Yeah. All right. So the three of you.
Zonbach bet against me.
So what's going to happen here is now there's going to be 3 checks that are going to need to be made here. The DC, the difficulty for this is randomly determined. So let me get that difficulty checked first here. So let me just get this modifier up. And dice here. I'm going to throw this in chat just so you can see what this is. So
wait, I didn't get that with me.
Well, each have their own rules. So this one this is a target number that they have to beat with all 3 of their checks. So right now, the first of the 3 is going to be strength athletics. I want each of you to roll a strength athletics.
Wait, each of us?
No, just Torin, Akba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody who's doing the
strength and athletics.
Well, it's athletics. If you don't have athletics,
okay, yeah, I got it.
So strength from the main page and then athletics from the skill
JT,
page?
run.
I'm confused about the rolling.
I'm the pit fighting champion.
What are you confused with the rolling?
Strength and athletics. Is that strength from the main page and then?
No, you roll athletics if you have that. If you don't, then it just defaults to strength. So not everybody's proficient in athletics.
So if I have,
that's okay.
Okay, I don't have a gold star next to athletics. So.
That means you're not proficient in it. So you just be rolling strength. So Torin,
that's from my main page.
That's from your main page. Yeah, there should be a dice right on the skill page, which should just roll a base stat for you if you don't have the star. So you shouldn't have to flip back to the main page just to do the strength, but it defaults to the strength.
So I'm gonna grab the athletics die, even though I don't have a gold star.
It's okay.
What the hell?
Fine. Wow. Oh, man. All right. So
Is that as good as roll as mine? Because I feel like mine was pretty top notch.
yours was actually very good with a 22, Vetch. But Torin got a 24, Katag got a 10,
Wow.
and Ankba got a 22. So,
High five wins.
all right. The next skill that needs to be rolled for this is going to be acrobatics. So
Acrobatics.
acrobatics.
Ooh.
Because
I
pit
don't think
fighting,
the Goliath is acrobatic, dude.
Well, naked wrestling means you have to be very acrobatic.
I don't want to be part of this naked wrestling.
You're already part of this.
No.
Yes.
Not the naked wrestles. No.
Yes.
Commence with the jiggling. All right.
I've been naked the
Am
whole
I the only one that appreciates this? I appreciate this, guys. Thanks.
All right.
the reason why
Buzz.
they're-
Oh,
Killing
good
it here.
God.
Torin is also
The re-
doing very well.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So Torin got a 14, Ankba got a 21, and Katag got a 12. Again, the DCs that you want to beat, the numbers you want to get is 13 or higher. So, and the last, let's see. Looks like it's a Constitution check. It has a bonus equal to roll the character's largest hit die. So it's so it's gonna be. So make a Constitution check.
Constitution saves.
No, that's
No, not save.
100%
Check.
Oh,
So
wait,
it's on
where
the
is that?
left-hand side of the main page.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So under abilities.
Yes. Constitution check.
Oh no.
Oh, no. That is bad.
All right. Let's see here. Katag got a 16.
Oh, nice. So I made it look good.
Akba got a 17. And Torin got a 4. All right. Wow. Amazing. And you guys get bonuses to this too, to determine by your hit die. Your largest hit die. So let's see here. Okay. All right. The results here. Now, Katag, you got 1 out of the 3 checks. So
Nice.
you win 50 gold.
That's pretty good.
He might be able to arm wrestle, but
That's really. Hey, he won 50 fucking gold, man.
Well, now,
but wait.
now 50 gold. Now he hasn't. Now this doesn't pay for any of his lifestyle for the week. So there's a cost. So some of that he'd have to pay for a lifestyle. But we'll get into Vetch doesn't because that's included in Vetch's winnings. So yeah, there's 5 days and there's a lifestyle cost that you pay per day.
Wait, what? Really?
Yep.
What is the lifestyle cost?
Depends on
the lifestyle.
Yeah,
What's
the
the
wealthier, the
advantage
more
to
expensive.
having a better lifestyle?
You don't get robbed.
You don't live like
You
a
don't
king.
get raw. I see. So you live basically in the exclusive quarter. You don't get with the ruffians and robbed kind of shit.
Yeah, less bad things happen to you.
All right.
Now, Torin, you had 2 successes. So your pit fighting winnings is 100 gold.
damn
Holy
right.
shit. Yo,
Oh,
Torrin.
no.
Yeah.
That is not the damn category.
Oh,
Ankba gets the damn category.
I'm
Ankba,
fucking up.
you blew it away with 3 successes in pit fighting. Okay? Nobody's seen a fight like you delivered. You tore the house down. This was your WrestleMania moment. Okay? You pulled in 200 gold pieces.
Ooh.
Damn, that's way more than.
So did I beat the 2 of them in the fights?
Yeah,
Listen,
you
bro.
made all of yours. Now I'm rolling for complications, though. Let's see if we get anything fun here.
Can I make it rain in front of Katag, but not any
What?
of it? Not any of it go to him.
Make it rain.
Well,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
Start throwing gold at him. I mean, he has a chance
Like
to pick
gold.
it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Not
gold coming
throwing
from
it
the
at
sky.
him, but just kind of like, shoving it in his face without him being able to touch any of it.
I don't know. I mean,
I wanted to
you were
say
given
that
these sacks of gold, and
Okay, Can I jingle the sack of gold? How
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
yeah. Like Katog's got one that's kind of like the size of his fist, and he's got a big fist. Torin's got one that's double that.
The size of his fist.
Well, he's got to cup both his hands together. You literally have like a trolley to pull your cart. You're just like, yeah.
So Anbach must have like a wagon.
Yeah,
What
you
he
just
just
got like
said.
this barrel
He just
full of
said
coin.
that.
No, he said I have a trolley
He's
or whatever.
talking to me, yo.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Come on, don't be dumb.
I have a trolley full.
Okay.
So, but yeah, Ankbach killed it with that. Now, but we haven't gotten to tier.
So I got a question for you, Dave. What's
Uh-huh.
the living expense? What are the living expenses chart again?
Okay, good question. So, let's see.
Shut up,
So-
JD.
They
Did
should
we not
have
get
a-
complications?
No, you
Fuck
did not
you,
get
man.
complications. Came close, but you didn't. You only have a 10% on that one, so did not happen. But you don't always want those to happen because they can be like one of the complications for one of the results is you wake up and you're married.
Ah,
Holy shit!
Yeah. Okay.
This goes back to the Dragonborn babies. I feel like everything was relevant.
Okay, that's as much got
Don't get started again.
That was interesting.
Rival,
Uh-huh.
creating a rival.
Interesting. Right in the middle of our session.
I thought it was interesting.
I don't understand why
Oh,
you
God.
gotta be so negative
Duh.
about it.
Doesn't look like they included
I
it
died.
in Xanathar's. Let me. All right, so it looks like they just used the base chart. So remember, you got to do this for 5 days. So you have Wretched, which is pretty much free, but very bad things are going to happen to you on that. Squalid is 1 silver, but again, pretty bad things happen to that. Poor is 2 silver. Now, that's pretty much you're going without most comforts. Simple food, very simple lodgings, unpredictable conditions. So it's not the most pleasant experience. Basically, think of it like a flap house or a common. Okay. Modest is kind of where you want to try to aim for. That's 1 gold piece a day. So that'd be 5 gold for the week for anybody who wants modest. Comfortable is 2 gold. So it's going to be 10. Then you have wealthy. Now, wealthy is 4 gold a day. But that's where you're pretty much living the life of luxury. So
Is that what I am at right now?
no, you're not that. You are, I believe, comfortable. Is what they have.
I'm
as.
comfortable.
Yeah, so
Okay.
comfortable
Don't get ahead of
is
yourself.
it's nicer clothing than average folk. You can easily maintain your equipment. It's basically the equivalent of a small cottage, middle class neighborhood, private rooms at a very fine inn. Basically, kind of things that respected merchants, skilled tradespeople, military officers might stay at. So it's a nice place.
Schwanky.
Yeah.
This is for 5 days.
You basically the cost is for 5 days. So if you wanted, let's say, to live at a modest, it'd be 5 gold. It's 1 gold a day, 5 days.
Okay, can I just go ahead and I'll pay for everybody's 5 days and the most expensive shit. We're gonna ball out and fucking chill.
Well, you wouldn't be able to afford the
People.
most the most expensive is aristocratic, and that's 10 gold a day minimum.
Okay,
Holy.
550. That's 50 a day for 4 people. That's 200.
Well, you're counting tier out?
What?
Yo, don't count
Oh
Tyrion out.
shit! I counted wrong.
He is our-
Damn.
You can count
Alright,
Gob out.
can we-
Gob
can we-
is just without a word.
I don't want
Okay, I did my math wrong.
the expensive stuff, so you can count me out. I want the modest.
All right, yeah, fucking let's do it.
Tier will not.
Then your internet's gonna be all crap.
Tier will not say no to someone purchasing for him because he's going to be spending money doing something else.
Oh shit!
that may or may not be advantageous to the group in the end.
Yeah.
Well, what is Tyr gonna
we all ball
doing?
out and have an awesome
Tyr's going to
time.
be doing some low class carousing.
Carousing is always a great one.
Ooh.
So,
Wait, did you say carousing was a great one?
yeah, it's interesting because you make NPC contacts with that one, or a chance to anyway. There are some things that you can make allied ones or hostile ones. Plus, other complications can occur.
Yeah, I don't have enough to do. I don't have enough right now to do.
Oh
do
my
middle-
god.
I don't really have enough to pull middle class carousing, which I think is like. I think middle class is like 50. I'm not going to quite go that high. Besides, we're
Yeah,
bound
lower is
for
10.
work, so yeah, we're going to do the lower class carousing.
Okay.
We're going to start with that. Hopefully, I can make up some context that'll work for the group later. So I'll go ahead and take off 10 gold pieces.
Okay.
That's done. Got 44 remaining. And
All right, so this you're gonna make a persuasion check.
I'm going to
Now
guidance
you may let's see. Well, that's with your noble. Never mind. There's an alternate roll for nobles.
Yeah, I don't have that one. But I am going to go ahead and guidance myself. And let's see how this goes. So 18.
18. All right. So you made 2 allied contacts. And let's see if there's any complications during this. Okay, so everything seems to go as planned during your lower class carousing. And let's see what kind of contacts you made here. Let's see.
So, Dave, as a DM, do you have like all these contacts planned out ahead of time?
I have things where I can quickly build them upon. In fact, that's what I'm rolling right now. Just see
That's
what
awesome.
kind of contacts that you have. So I have things that kind of help with the improv. So that's why my games are very dynamic, because I can kind of let you guys go wherever you want.
That's cool. That must take a lot of work though to like figure it out.
Yes and no. I mean, you got to know what what the world is, but if you know what baselines you need to kind of put in there, you have a guidepost.
Okay.
So, for Tyr,
game mastering is not an easy job. I do it too. It's very hard.
Okay. So, your contacts that you made, you've actually made one in the criminal world, or at least one that has ties with the criminal world.
That's fine.
This is going to be a human named Zeros. And the other one you made is actually a mercenary. And this is going to be...
Fuck you, JT.
A female tiefling named Riku.
Okay, hold on. So the first one is a criminal named Zeros.
Yeah, Zaros, male human. And the second is a female tiefling named Riku. Riku.
Like the Final Fantasy Riku.
That's where I know that name from.
Yeah, I know you know that name.
I couldn't think of it. What is
Riku? And Riku is what?
Female tiefling.
Okay, I mean, like, the first one you said was a criminal.
Yes, the male human named Zeros.
I got him. I was just wondering what she was aside from
mercenary.
Being a tiefling. Okay, Merc. That's right,
Yeah.
okay. I'm adding this to my sheet. Go ahead.
Okay, so those are the 2 contacts that you've made. So they basically, you met them while, cruising some of the, local taverns, merchants, the streets, vendors. You just kind of, one of them you kind of bumped in the main square. The other, you ran into during business, just spreading some coin around, getting people to kind of talk and open up to you. And with your charismatic personality, you befriended them, and they trust you enough to where you can kind of rely on them for information and assistance.
Okay.
Is this just Tyr that they trust?
Yeah, this is what I spent my downtime for.
Okay.
So basically, while you were performing and they were pit fighting, Tyr was correct. Y'all
Somehow seems a
While
lot
you
more
were
valuable.
playing, I was studying the blade.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyr was going out to the lower class areas of town and the lower class taverns, and he was spreading some gold around, and he was meeting people and getting names.
I like how Tyr was introduced as this like goofy lute player, but he's actually like also.
Yo, Tyr is the backbone of this party, I'm realizing.
Well, he brings a lot of, not just experience, but because not the first rodeo in D&D, he kind of can go just relaxed with things, so allows for a little more options, a little more comfort with this.
Right.
Yeah, and also it goes to the character's personality. I rolled some interesting when I built this character. I came up with some interesting bits when I was doing the background.
Okay, did you roll randomly for this, or did you?
Some of it was random.
Some of it wasn't, random.
Because it doesn't all have to be random. And so, like, some of my background stuff, I was like, okay, this fits. This doesn't make any sense. And so I went down the traits, and for a lot of it was rolled. A couple of it weren't, but I went down the traits, and I ended up with a backstory. So this character actually has like a full written. I have several paragraphs of backstory, about 4 paragraphs of backstory.
Holy crap!
On my sheet. And so with Tyr's particular thing, like that thing he said, he actually the poem that he read in the tavern is actually from his backstory. That's a chapter in his backstory. And it's part of the it's just part of one of the things that came up in the background. And so he's always been very adventuresome. And because of this, though, he was a runaway when he was young. Because of something that they wanted him to do, and he didn't want to do it, so he ran away and he lived on the streets for a while. And because of this, he was a criminal when he was younger. And so, yes, I mean, he has the skills. If I'd wanted to do the rob a place downtime activity, I've got the skills. He can pick locks. He can stealth. He can talk his way through trouble. He's got those skills to do it. And he's very good at it. But he tends not to do that unless there's a good reason. But in this case, because of that, he's lived on the streets, and then he became a bounty hunter, finding people. Finding people is something that he's fairly good at, and because of that, the easiest way to find people is to have contacts. You have somebody who's going to go to ground in a city. They're not going to. No one goes invisible just by saying, "Well, I'm vanishing." No, they go to contacts. They find out where to get info and advice and whatnot. And so, in this case, finding contacts helps him with his job, but also having contacts in different cities is useful. And this is also because, like I said, I have the feature where every town we go to, I've got somebody I can go talk to already. So it just makes sense for him to continue building this network of contacts. And because over time you can leverage contacts to get better and better things, and you start out small, and as you adventure and you earn more money, eventually you can afford to start getting contacts that aren't low class. You can get your middle class contacts. You can eventually get your high class contacts. And so they're nebulous advantages. They're not like, okay, they may not be a weapon, they may not be gold, they may not be something that'll help you in a fight, but you can have things happen if you need to, and you have the right contacts. You can influence large-scale narrative events given enough time. And so that's the kind of character Tyr is. He doesn't plan on being for example, he doesn't plan on being a mercenary, or not a mercenary, but he doesn't plan on being a bounty hunter forever. Eventually, you're going to want to retire, and you need to have a solid base to do that. And so he's building that base slowly and slowly.
Okay.
All right. So, at the end of the work week, you guys all have your pay. You're getting the writs for the amounts owed to you from Foulfeared. He doesn't carry that much coin directly on him. They give you little writs, little piece of papers that are stamped saying that, this is valued this much money, and you go to a local coin changer, and they basically like a bank, and they will give you the funds there, since that's more protected. With that, as you make your way the night before, that you just got your writs, but the banks are closed. You all are walking down the streets, and you hear some commotion come down from a darkened alley. It starts to draw your attention. I want you all to roll perception checks.
Perception checks?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
All right.
Nope, that's persuasion. I rolled the wrong one. It's the same bonus.
All right.
Oh, no, it's not. Actually, I take that back.
Hang on.
Mine was a 14, Dave, not a 19.
Okay,
I have no bonus to this.
Tyr with a 14, Ankh-Ba with a 4, Katag with a 4, Torin with a 12, and Vetch with a 15. So, Tyr and Vetch, what you see that the others don't is you see 3 men bickering with hushed voices in the alley. 2 of them are kind of large. The other one's a little smaller. And one of the larger ones looks like his arms like caught in something. But you recognize them. These 3 gentlemen are part of Jesper's group from the Dry Manatee. And as they kind of, they don't seem to notice you, but they are kind of bickering with each other. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
Ooh. Dave, that's not fair.
See, you should have stayed back and eavesdropped on him.
I guess so.
Not necessarily. This may be not related to that at all. And
True.
Again, there were chances of complications, so either one could have been a decision.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
it makes me feel a little bit better, but God damn it, Dave, I have to wait a fucking week.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Well, the fact that you feel that you want to wait a week means I did my job as a dungeon master. So again,
Yes, you did.
everyone, I want to congratulate you all for completing another session. I hope that you all had a good time.
Yep, definitely.
Much appreciated, Dave. Thank you for running.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. Well, until next time, I've been your dungeon master, and happy gaming.
No problem, David.
Bye.